gentlemen, welcome back to Matchday 4 of the eFootball.Pro League. Of course, it is a crucial game week as it's really hotting up now at both ends of the table, of course. My name is Adam Butcher. I will be your host for today. And alongside me, of course, we have Mr. Mark Scott, our main commentator. Welcome back, Mark.
Thank you very much, Adam. Great to be back. Obviously, neither of us were here for the last match day, and we missed out. Plenty of goals, lots of action and excitement. I'm hoping for more of the same, especially now as we're at the business end and we'll know which teams are going to make it through to the finals and who's going to end up in the last chance group. Absolutely.
A lot at stake today. Someone who was here on match day 3, Mr. Diego Lorena, our data analyst. Now, you obviously deputised brilliantly. Would you like to refresh everyone at home's memories of what happened in match day 3?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Well, first of all, welcome back. I have to say, I missed you guys.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back
without you guys, although Andy did a bang-up job, and those seats were very comfortable. But as you guys mentioned, there was drama from beginning to end, starting with Boavista against Monaco, both picking up a point. It was Boavista that did take that initial match, winning that 3-2. Theomid scoring in the dying minutes there, but Monaco then afterwards with a spectacular Ousmane thumping Boavista 6-1. Ousmane as well was the MVP of the day.
Wasn't he? I mean, he had a day to save it, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he had 5 goals, something like that. Just a monstrous match from the Monaco player. After we saw Schalke square off against Nantes as well, both picking up a point. Schalke taking that first match deep into the second half. It just ended 1-0, but that second match was a completely different affair. 5-3 it ended in favor for the boys from Nantes, picking up their second point of the competition, and the match day ended with this juicy Barça against Celtic, 2 juggernauts in this competition. Barça taking all the 3 points, therefore leapfrogging Celtic into that first spot. But Celtic did also a bang-up job, of course. Their EC, O'Neill and Jos debuting, am I saying that right? Debuting for the Scottish club.
Absolutely,
and did very well indeed.
Yeah, they changed, obviously, the team players around last week. It wasn't quite to be on the day, but hopefully they obviously will be able to improve today. And as you can see, Diego, that is our league table as we speak.
That's it. Here we see Barça taking over Celtic for that first spot, splitting them in the goal difference. Monaco in third with 5 points. Schalke in fourth with 4 points. Nantes and Boavista with 2 and 1 respectively. And of course, today, a lot of eyes set on Schalke.
I was literally that was my next point, is the fact that most results today, in terms of, I just dropped something, it's fine, leave it. Most of the other results that are happening today are based on the Schalke results to see whether certain teams can qualify today, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of teams can go through, but the caveat, as we'll go through a bit later on, is if they win and Schalke lose. That seems to be a recurring statement across all of the facts and figures that we've got. So you're right, it's Schalke who are going to be the focal point of everything today.
Absolutely. I can see you've made loads of notes there, Mark. We'll come back to you for some facts and figures later. Of course, Diego, should we move on to what's happening today? Mr. Matchday 4.
Matchday 4, and what a match day is going to be, guys. We're starting off with a very mouth-watering Monaco against Celtic. Talk about 2 teams with a plethora of talent on them. Boavista Schalke to follow that first match by our Jordi, the director of this competition. He chose this as the match of the day for good reason and obvious reasons. And it'll finish with Nantes against Barça.
Absolutely. And just to refresh people's memories at home, we have a best of 2 situation. So every match consists of 2 games. So if one team wins both games, they get the 3 points. If the games are shared with 1 win apiece, it finishes with 1 point apiece in the group table. And if both games are a draw, it finishes with 1 point as well. We do have also, a new rule today that's been added.
Yeah, that's right. It's the new momentum rule. After a bit of an interruption on match day 3 in the match between Boavista and Monaco, a new rule's been added to the competition in order to solve the situation if it happens to crop up again. So from now on, when a game is in the second half and it becomes heavily interrupted, the second half will be played again from scratch, and the goals or other stats from the interrupted part won't count. So the final result of the game would be the sum of the full first half and the replayed second half. Remember, you can get all the info about that rule and the whole rules from eFootball.Pro official website, which is eFootball.Pro.
Absolutely, thanks for that, Mark. Now, of course, the first game of the day will be AS Monaco versus Celtic FC, and AS Monaco, of course, includes MVP from Matchday 3, doesn't it, Diego?
It does. Uzmakabal, like we just mentioned, just having a monstrous day. 5 goals to his name, but Lotfi as well, just very generous in the assists, and both of these players just so talented.
Absolutely, can't wait for it. The way I see it, Mark, is the fact that we have one team in AS Monaco who started proceedings, started the eFootball.Pro League fairly, you know, under the radar, both fairly individual players, but they're really growing as a unit, and they're playing against a team who has already great amount of chemistry. Do you see the individual brilliance of AS Monaco coming out on top today, or do you think the chemistry of Celtic might just sort of tip the balance? How do you see it going?
Well, there is a bit of a backstory to this particular game, because
I told you, he's got facts and figures.
Here we go. Here we go.
Because Lotfi played with Red Mamba in the PES League World Finals against Indominator, who was then playing for Total Football. So you just wonder if that sort of history might come to the fore in this game. And as I mentioned, a lot of permutations that include Schalke today. If Celtic win and Schalke don't, then Celtic qualify for the finals, and it's exactly the same story for Monaco. So a lot at stake for both teams.
Absolutely. Now, we are going to go to a quick video of MVP from Matchday 3, and that is, of course, Uzmakabal.
Were able to stifle the guys, the powerful bunch from Celtic, and, you know, despite not taking a win, we already see a goal being scored. We hardly see goals being taken or shots being taken from so far out of the 18-yard box.
It was like Paul Scholes. He could never score in the box.
Oh! Monaco takes one back. I'm thinking that they probably want, you know, they're hungry now and eager for the 3 points.
Masengo in possession for Monaco. Pellegrini swapping passes with Masengo. Here's the goal scorer first up in that first game. Vinicius beaten in the air. The danger's still there. And Kudu!
There you go. What a difference a day makes, Andy. As Monaco doing ever so well here to regain possession. Vinicius playing the ball through the middle now. Oh, this is a great chance! And on the rebound!
Well, my team's Leicester. Christian Fuchs is pretty mean with the ball.
Oh.
Yeah, he's pretty good with throws. And Kudu. Pellegrini!
Surely!
3-1. He must have just been onside, Samu.
Yeah. Pellegrini looking for Masengo. Ooh, being fouled there. And that's advantage. Ranu.
Vinicius is coming in. Vinicius with a lovely touch.
Take advantage of the situation to get back into the game. Firing a shot from long range, but here's Monaco with a shot on goal. And a tap in. Playing that ball. Going right back at Boavista. Oh, finds the open man. He's alone in front of goal, puts it across. And it's a goal.
Yeah, wonderful to watch there. Uzmakabal in stunning form in Matchday 3. Long may it continue. Hopefully it goes into Matchday 4, which is, of course, today. Now, speaking of Matchday 4, we know we've got AS Monaco versus Celtic, and both of these two teams, Mark, can qualify today if one of them is to win, based on the Schalke 0-4 result, isn't it?
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, Schalke very integral to what could happen today in terms of who qualifies for the finals and who goes into the last chance group. Basically, if either of these teams, Celtic or Monaco, win and Schalke don't later, they will qualify for the finals. So obviously they need to get the job done first and then watch the Schalke game.
And then, of course, if Schalke do win, then it will go down to Matchday 5. Anyway, predictions, Mark?
I quite fancy Monaco in this one.
Okie dokie. Score?
I think it'll be high scoring.
That's sitting on the fence as usual. Diego?
I'm going to go with the Dutch boys, supporting my countrymen. No offense to Monaco guys, but Celtic is going to take both of these matches.
Score?
2-1 and 3-2.
Okay. I'm going to go with AS Monaco, just a draw in one game and a win in the other, but I think the guys are ready on stage. Take it away, AS Monaco versus Celtic FC.
Let's take a seat, please. In here.
So the players are just about to get ready. They will be going through a few last-minute tactical tweaks, etc. Of course, they are stripping down to their wonderful club colours there. Beautiful sight to see, isn't it, Mark?
Absolutely wonderful, yeah. So Celtic with E.C. O'Neill and his fellow Dutchman in Dominator, and Jos obviously was up here not that long ago working as a pundit for eFootball.Pro, but now he's on the books at Celtic. The
How
two
times
Dutchmen.
can change, Mark.
Exactly. There's still hope for us. Hope for us yet. Looking at the Monaco lineup, we've got a birthday boy amongst them because Lotfi turned 20 earlier on this month. Doesn't
Happy
that make you
birthday.
feel old?
That makes me feel very, very ancient indeed, Mark. Of course, now, we touched on before the game how AS Monaco are growing into this sort of co-op mode, should I say, because, of course, you had Makabal, who was world champion 1v1s for 2 years in a row and has been right at the top of that sort of sector. And Lotfi himself has been right up there in the 1v1s as well in recent years, and now they've joined forces. They started proceedings a little bit slower than was predicted based on their pedigrees, as individuals, but they're really starting to grow into a tight-knit team, aren't they, Mark?
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, goals are plenty. Lotfi, the 8-goal second top scorer in the competition so far, hat-trick in that 6-1 success in the last match day. And Makabal, 2 MVPs so far already in the tournament, 5 goals last time out as well. So plenty of firepower amongst them.
Absolutely, and the top goal scorer list will change as the day goes on, but both Lotfi and, of course, Makabal can climb to the top with just a couple of goals to their names above Power Barcelona, and it's going to be interesting to see whether they can achieve that. Now on to Celtic, Mark. Newcomers, these two teammates into this group. They have played together, of course, before. It was a tough first match day, wasn't it, in match day 3 for them? Can they respond and bounce back?
Well, I think we saw the promise that they've got there. They both scored 2 goals each in the last match day, which came in 3-2 defeat and a 2-2 draw against Barcelona. Both Dutchmen, of course, and they're both well experienced, especially in Dominator. Jos, to me and you, and plenty of his other friends as well, well known in both co-op.
Would you say you're friends with him then?
I'd like to
Have you
think
gone
so.
past
Well,
acquaintances?
I think we follow each other on Twitter, so that's normally a good yardstick.
Best buds.
But I think that, yeah, it's going to be a very intriguing matchup. As I say, it's almost about trying to limit what Monaco can do as much as what they can do pushing forwards. And you guess that perhaps they are still trying to strike up that bond on this particular stage, having come in only on match day 3.
And of course, you talk about how to limit what AS Monaco bring to the table. How do you feel Celtic can actually do that? Because AS Monaco have been just incredible going forwards, haven't they?
Yeah, plenty of goals in their side, and they generally like to play quick ball from what we've seen from them so far. So perhaps the midfield area is going to be the key ingredient in this one.
Yep, so there you can see the close-ups there on the screen. First of AS Monaco, and now Jos in your foreground and Eldridge in the distance there. But both of them, no stranger to the big stage. They have performed at massive PES events in the past, and this is no different. Of course, they are playing for the club colours, green and white of Celtic, and it's a massive stage for them, isn't it? And it's a big, responsibility really on their shoulders.
Yeah, and just to remind you, if Celtic win and Schalke don't win their match later, Celtic will qualify for the finals. If Monaco win and Schalke don't win, then Monaco are through to the finals. So plenty at stake for both of these teams going into it. And the backstory, as I mentioned, one of the players for Monaco today, Lotfi, played in the PES League 2018 World Finals against the current Celtic FC player in Dominator. Was currently playing for Total Football when they met on that occasion. Total Football lost in the penalty shootout in the final against Broken Silence. And interestingly, Alex Alguacil from FC Barcelona was in that team.
Absolutely, and just to refresh your memories at home, basically what would happen out of the 6 teams is we need a top 3 to start, and 1 would join from the best of the rest in the knockout stages. So to qualify through to the knockouts, you need to finish in the top 3, and those places are currently being held by FC Barcelona, Celtic FC and AS Monaco, and in 4th, 5th and 6th respectively is Schalke 04, FC Nantes and Boavista FC as well. So just seconds away from kickoff. You predicted AS Monaco. How do you feel they're going to be able to achieve this?
Well, like I said, I think that, you know, they generally tend to play quite quick ball, so it'll be the pace that they try and utilise that will be key.
Yeah, as you just saw, a fist bump there, and that's something that the co-op brings that the 1v1s doesn't. You know, that sense of camaraderie and team spirit, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and Indominator is very well known in both co-op and 1v1, so he knows both ends of the trade.
And as you can see, we are ready to rock and roll. We have AS Monaco kicking from left to right in the red and white strip, and of course kicking from right to left in the away strip. We have Celtic FC, Mark.
Indeed, and Gulano trying to find a way through early on. It's a strong start. Pellegrini has it, and not the greatest defended, and Kudu's effort loops up, and Gordon makes the gather for Celtic, but a strong opening from Monaco. Gordon with the long delivery upfield, and Bitten can help it on to Tierney. Very quick tempo to the game. Alu for Guano, and again it's Monaco looking dangerous, and Pellegrini with the first chance of the game. It's a good save from the Celtic keeper, although the offside flag was up.
Yeah, it wouldn't have counted, but it's worrying signs here, Mark. They've got in twice inside the opening 5 minutes, and certainly something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, Monaco, who have Lotfi, the 8-goal second top scorer, as one of their 2 players, was Makabal as well, 5 goals in the last match day, including a hat-trick as well, and a couple of MVPs for him too. So on form, you'd say that they are the most dangerous of the sides.
Of course, these stats for Celtic are a bit misleading because they have only played 1 match day. Of course, Eldridge and Jos, and 2 goals apiece for them, so they are on the score sheet. But they will have to add to that, obviously, if they are to go into the knockout stages, that's for sure.
And already some alterations being made, despite the fact it's very early stages of this first game of the best of 2 match. Remember, that's how it works out in this. They play each other twice, and then we work out who has won that particular match based on the results from the 2 games. So we're back underway with Gamboa for Celtic. Here's Bitten now, back to Benkovic, and Celtic playing with a slightly slower tempo, just trying to knock the ball around and perhaps get a bit of possession as Henderson slips it through to Griffiths, and he nearly worked it into Bayo, and Kudu and Masengo. And they've let that run for Alu, and Kudu's there again. That's a decent pass to Vinicius, and they've worked it on to Pellegrini. But he's just crowded out. That was decent defending from the Celtic players, and they might have a chance on the counter. And Edouard decides on safety first and drops it back into Bitten. Here's Henderson finding Forrest. They've worked that well. Henderson, and then a sloppy pass, but that was better from Celtic.
It was better. They're trying to take the sting out of the game here, because AS Monaco, as we mentioned, started like a house on fire, but Celtic have managed to get a foothold in this game. But that's a real mistake there, and almost could have been real problems there at the back. 16 minutes gone, still 0-0.
Henderson trying to find Forrest, but it's going to break here for Naldo, who has the time to play it into Vinicius. It's all been a bit narrow at the moment, neither side really getting the ball out wide. Guarani might be able to change that. In fact, there's too much on that, so it's out for a throw.
It's gone too wide, Mark.
Indeed. And again, just a switch of thrower being made by the Monaco players.
Final ball's been a bit sloppy so far in the opening 20 minutes.
So game 1 still goalless. Bitten with the header only as far as Masengo, and Forrest in the right place for Celtic. Pellegrini making a nuisance of himself, but again the offside flag is up.
So 20 minutes gone here, and it is AS Monaco who have bossed large parts of the possession here, 74% in fact, as it's back with the Celtic #1 and a chance to clear their lines, but that's a real sloppy pass, and the offside flag would have been raised had the AS Monaco striker got on the end of it. But again, slightly worrying signs, Mark.
Yeah, Gordon happy to play it out from the back. Gamboa to Forrest. Griffiths making a run. Forrest has spotted him. Griffiths in round the back here. Angle against him. Can he get the shot in? He can't, and Emerson is able to scoop it away, but that's the best we've seen from Celtic so far. Pellegrini had an opportunity to slip in Vinicius there, but not enough on the pass, and Celtic have it back, but signs that both teams are just starting to warm up.
Yeah, that was the first real chance for Celtic after being under the cosh for large parts of the opening 25 minutes or so, but still no shot really of any note, Mark. No real goal-mouth chances.
Masengo, and Henderson's lost it, and Kudu, this is a chance, and Kudu, and again, good save from Gordon. Clearest chance we've had so far, and no surprise that it's come from Monaco.
And this is why I do it. Curse of the commentator, no real chances of note, and then straight down the end. And there's Monaco with the first. That's a huge save there. Big left paw that came out there from Craig Gordon. And still worrying signs for Celtic, but most importantly, they are still level.
Relief for that pair then at that save. Defending to do here, and it's off the bar. Well, they were indebted to their goalkeeper a minute ago, and now it's the frame of the goal that's come to their rescue.
How on earth that stayed out, I will never know. That was an incredible effort, and it come flying back off the woodwork, so to speak. But they can't build on that chance, and it cleared downfield again through Celtic.
Bayo has it for Celtic, who are somewhat fortunate to still be level at 0-0. And at the moment, they look a bit overrun when Monaco are coming forwards. Here is Eduardo, two in the centre to aim for, and it will be a corner for Celtic.
You just start to feel it's one of these games that might be building into the case of missed opportunities for AS Monaco.
Subasic making a gather under pressure. Yeah, I'm sure that the Monaco pair, Lotfi and Ousmakabal, will be wondering if they should have done better from that corner, given that they hit the crossbar. Pellegrini for Guano, though. It's still the French side who are very much on top. Pellegrini on his own gets the cross in. Should be easy enough to deal with. Guano's there again, and Nkudu's up there. Well, at the moment, you just feel that Celtic might need a change of tactics here, because it does appear to be one-way traffic for the main part. Bayo with a chance to relieve that pressure. Slipped into Forrest, and Forrest goes back. That's a bit dangerous. Hendry to Gamboa, and his pass is cut out. Guano's onto it, and Kudu now. Vinicius further forwards. Here he is now. This is half a chance if he can get through, and he nearly did so. Gets another bite of the cherry here. Celtic with just about enough numbers to crowd him out, and they'll be relieved when the half-time whistle comes.
Yeah, last gasp defending again there, and you kind of feel at this moment in time that it's a case of when and not if. But crucially, again, we keep saying it's another missed opportunity as the ball gets played through again, through to Craig Gordon, who is in inspired form right now as we tick towards the final minute of the first 45 minutes. It's now or never if we're going to get a goal in this opening 45 minutes, as Gordon smashes the ball away again. Mark, 0-0 half-time.
Well, 0-0, but the stats will tell you all you need to know about who has been on top in that game. Monaco with the much better opportunities. Gordon with a couple of decent saves, and they also hit the frame of the goal as well, and we can see there that you can see how Celtic
defensive
changes.
Celtic back sort of, well, 7 or 8 that's been in that first half. Possibly they felt the onslaught was coming, and they've kind of dealt with it though, haven't they?
But as you can see there, they are pushing their midfield further forwards to try and avoid sitting too deep and allowing Monaco to come onto them. So we'll see if that can help them in the second half.
And believe it or not, we may have skewed people's opinions at home due to the fact that we were saying how dominant AS Monaco were, but in terms of possession, actually Celtic had 54%. So, but in terms of actual chances, they didn't really create anything, whereas AS Monaco probably had 2 or 3, big chances in that opening 45 minutes.
Bayo has it, and it's all the way back to Subasic, who's not had too much to do so far, the Monaco goalkeeper. Edouard gives chase, and Griffiths is there as well, and slipped into Forrest. Forrest going nowhere fast, though. And again, Celtic having to absorb some pressure. Gamboa's lost out, and it's worked on to Henderson now, but the whistle's gone. First foul of the game, committed by Monaco.
I mean, we said how crucial Matchday 4 might just be, and it does kind of get that feeling of a cagey affair after 50 minutes. There's not a lot to choose between the two teams, and it may well go down to that second game. And predictions-wise, I think I said one draw and 1 win, didn't I? So we're on course for a draw at this moment in time, as Craig Gordon seemed to dilly and dally on that for a little bit too long, but manages to clear his lines. And now Tierney plays it down the left-hand side, and a chance for Celtic to attack here, Mark.
Indeed, Henderson has it, and Henderson's worked it into Bayo, who almost nipped in. Well, one thing that's interesting is Celtic are continuing to persevere with playing out from the back. Gordon taking a risk on a couple of opportunities when he's dropped the ball at his feet and dribbled it out from the back, but credit to them for sticking to their principles. And here's Forrest now finding Griffiths. Griffiths, that's nice. Forrest, can he get the cross in? He can as well. Henderson's waiting up there, and here's Edouard, and all of a sudden Monaco with a bit of a scare.
Yeah, you were talking about sticking to their principles in playing out from the back. That has been their philosophy, these two, Eldridge and Jos, over the years in Pez, as the ball gets played back to Henderson. And it's another chance, this time for Celtic, and they're really growing into this second half now, Mark.
Complete change, really, but they've got defending to do here. Gordon out quickly to deal with the danger. He's going to send it straight to a Monaco man, though, in Masengo. Masengo eventually loses out, and Bitten has it back for Celtic. But much, much better from Celtic in the second half, and you wonder if perhaps pushing that midfield further up the pitch has really helped them. Griffiths for Henderson, and here is Bayo again. Can they get the opening goal? Naldo in the right place, but very, very different complexion to the match now.
Yeah, you really feel that that first half was all AS Monaco, and Celtic were just trying to stay in the game, and now they can chance to push forwards down the other end as AS Monaco this time actually take possession back. But Celtic, like you said, at half-time they made that specific change. Maybe that was always a plan they had, to just stay in the game at half-time and then start to be more expansive in the second, and it seems to have worked, but they've got to be careful, because AS Monaco can just turn it on in the blink of an eye. It's a chance to play through to Carlos, and it's a right-foot shot saved by Craig Gordon. Whew, breathless stuff here, Mark.
Well, the offside flag was up, but not from the initial shot. That would have counted, and now we do see some changes being made, and you wonder what the thinking will be here as we enter the business end of this particular game in the best-of-2 format, and a goal now could well prove to be the winner. Do you stick or do you twist, Adam?
It's a difficult one. I think if I was playing, I would be fairly happy with a point or a draw from the first game, go on to the second game, and then it's obviously a one-horse straight game race, and it's a difficult one, because if you try and go and win it and obviously concede and lose, it then puts so much pressure on that second game. So I think both teams will be happy with a blank slate. We will wait and see.
A couple of changes have been made by Monaco in terms of personnel. Here's Johnston for Celtic meantime, back to Bitten. They've also made some changes as well. Burke on the move here. Held up by Panzo, but he's still managed to slip it into Griffiths. Is that going to be a corner? It is. Griffiths is over it with time ticking down. A goal now could be absolutely crucial. And Griffiths' delivery, Subasic came, didn't get there. Chance and in! And Celtic, having absorbed so much pressure, have the opening goal and are on course for a crucial victory.
It's an absolute catastrophe for the goalkeeper. He came and didn't get anywhere near enough purchase on it, and look at the faces there of us, Macabile and Lotfi. It says it all, because that was a real hash of a defensive play there from the corner, and I'm not really sure what was going through the goalkeeper's head there. Lashed into the back of the net, and as you said, they soaked up so much pressure and possession in that first half, and they've been a bit more expansive in the second, and it's finally come off. And look at the celebrations there for Eldridge and Jos as they slap that Celtic badge. They are here, and they are proud to play as part of the green and white hoops of Celtic FC. Can AS Monaco respond?
Well, Lotfi and his Macabal scored 8 goals between them on Matchday 3. They failed to find the net with time ticking down in the first game of this Matchday for them. Somewhat surprising that they have failed to rustle the net. Can Gelson Martins change that? Golovin nearly wriggled his way through. Credit again to the Celtic defending, which has been spot on, and Johnston brings it forwards for them now. Is there a second goal for Celtic here?
It's really playing into their hands now, Mark, isn't it?
Burke has still got it. Back to Alan. Here's Griffiths. Possession stuff now from Celtic. This is smart. They know that with the 1-goal advantage, they just need to keep hold of the ball, really, and that will frustrate Monaco. Johnston through for Alan, and Naldo can clear away, but this is the wrong end of the pitch as far as Monaco are concerned. Could get worse for them as well. Subasic this time comes out and makes a competent gather.
It was a big chance that. He just wasn't able to take it under his spell. There's 7 minutes remaining here as the ball gets played back to Craig Gordon again. Still trying to maintain this philosophy of total football as the ball gets played. Oh, it's a wonderful slide rule pass across the face, and it's a chance here at the back post for Allen, and it's headed goalwards by the defender, and in the end it was a good one. But again, brilliant play from Celtic.
Really has been a game of two halves. Guano for Gelson Martins, out wide for Navarro. Navarro, Guano, chance, well worked. Oh, they've hit the post. Second time in the game they've hit the frame of the goal. Gelson Martins with the latest attempt. Maybe it's just not going to be their day in this particular game.
Well, when your luck's out, it is out well and truly. They've hit the woodwork twice, as you said. They've been incredibly unlucky in front of goal. And, well, this is what happens at the big end of the season.
Burke, and that's it. And Celtic win the first game, which means that if they draw or win the next game, then they will have a chance to wrap up their place in the finals today, depending on how Celtic get on.
Absolutely, a really, really impressive performance there from Celtic FC. They withstood a lot of pressure in that opening 45 minutes. Then they were a bit more expansive in the second half. And, well, it was a bit of a lucky goal mark to go on and win it in the end. But they all count, and it now gives them a great foothold for the second game in this first match of match day 4. How do AS Monaco respond?
Well, I think that Celtic will be absolutely delighted, not just with the victory, but the fact that they've managed to keep a free-scoring Monaco side from scoring. Lotfi, who is the 8-goal second top scorer, got a hat-trick on the last match day in one of the games, as Macabal got 5 goals as well, but no way through for them. They did get a bit lucky with the ball hitting the crossbar and the post throughout the course of that particular game, but overall they got their defensive game absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of 3 chances really, the woodwork being struck twice and the one big sort of left-handed Craig Gordon save. Outside of that, I think defensively Celtic were, you know, on point. But yeah, I mean, on another day it could have been 3-0, couldn't it? Let's be honest, to AS Monaco. So let's take nothing away from the fact that AS Monaco are still a massive threat in this second game, and you wouldn't be surprised if they were able to come back and win it.
Okay, so with Celtic winning the first game by 1-0, a draw in this would give them a victory in the match, as it's best of 2. Guano has it, and Kudu. Monaco will certainly be spurred on by the fact that they played well but got nothing for it in that first game. Gamboa finding Forrest with the nice pass in towards Johnston, worked in for Henderson. Bio making a run, still Henderson for now, quickly closed down into the path of Forrest. Good start this to the game, and good defending as well. Bitten quickly onto it. Celtic certainly looking like they've pushed that midfield further forwards. Bio's flick on, Griffiths up there, flag is up.
Yeah, it seems like they've started this game like they ended the first. They've definitely been more offensive, especially in that final third. They've created a few chances, and it's promising to see, because we thought at the start of the first game that they were a little bit too defensive. We've got instant changes already from AS Monaco, who appear to be slightly struggling with how Celtic have set up. They possibly were expecting them to be more defensive like they were at the start of the first game, but they've come out of the traps like a house on fire. 6 minutes gone. So AS Monaco have elected to make a few tactical changes, and hopefully for them it'll pay dividends. But it is Celtic that hold the advantage at the moment after the first game, as it whistles by that post, and it's another missed opportunity for AS Monaco. It's pretty much been, you know, one of those days for them so far. Nothing really sticking in that final third, and that for them too is a big missed opportunity, and that face there from us, Macabal, says it all.
Well, they couldn't stop scoring in the last match day. Goals raining in from that pair, but they haven't had their shooting boots on this afternoon so far, and that will frustrate them. Nicias has got it back to Ahulu, and he's run straight into Forrest. No foul there. Griffiths can pick out Johnston. Johnson quickly into Henderson. They like the first-time passes, Celtic, at the moment.
I was going to say that might be controversial if that was to be a goal. It looked like a bit of a naughty challenge there, but the referee played on.
Griffiths for Celtic. Here's Gamboa. That's intelligent, but well read by the Monaco backline. Panicias has played in, and Kudu And Gulano now trying to make inroads. Benkovic is across. Gulano's ball in. Vinicius and Pellegrini. Great goal!
How
Well,
on
it looked
earth?
as though it was going to be a goal, and somehow the keeper has sent it over the top. Well, I think everyone expected the net to bulge here, and somehow it didn't.
How on earth has that stayed out? I mean, it's so unlucky. It was wonderful, wonderful play from us, Macabile. And again, the reaction says it all. Twice the dummy shot came in, and you thought the net was just about to bustle there as Craig Gordon collects that corner quite easily in the end. But Mark, I mean, what have they got to do to score here?
Well, you just wonder if it is going to be Celtic's day. Bayo switching it towards Griffiths, nicely taken down. Henderson in space, and Henderson couldn't quite grow enough, and Kudu brings it down now for Monaco. Really good watch this game as Vinicius picks it up and tries to slip in Guano. Forrest can work it back to Gordon. Nip and tuck, Celtic starting the better of the two sides, but right now it's Monaco who are on the front foot. That said, Johnston can switch in to Forrest. Panzo read that well, and Vinicius now can turn and early up towards Nkudu, who was lurking. Pellegrini will give chase as well. That is a foul, surely. No, nothing doing from the referee. Bitten sent it on to Bayo. He's been content to let things go, this referee, early on.
Yeah, a few boos round the grounds, but certainly, yeah, like you said, he's been not really sort of making any stoppages. He's allowing play to flow here, which is nice to watch and commentate on, but a few questions asked there as that decision came in. And remember, guys at home, that both AS Monaco and Celtic will fail to qualify for the next stage today if AS Monaco were to win this second game. So if it's a point apiece after the two, then both teams will be waiting on Matchday 5 results.
Here is Nkudu now for Monaco. Remarkable to think that this pair scored 13 goals across the 2 games on the last match day, and yet as we head towards half-time in the second game, they are still yet to find the net.
It's madness, Mark, to be honest, because I've watched them over the years, and both of them no stranger to a goal or two, but like we said, when your luck is out, it just seems to be constantly raining at this moment in time in sunny Spain, because they just can't buy a goal, and they've certainly created a few chances of note.
Bitten works it on to Tierney. And now Bayo, Griffiths up there, Forrest, and a chance! Oh, what a chance it was as well. 2 glorious opportunities in this first half, one for both teams, and this one came Celtic's way.
This might be the moment that AS Monaco need to really get a grip on this game. It's a real flash warning there from Celtic, again soaking up so much pressure in the opening half an hour or so, and then quick as an arrow, they went for the jugular to make it 1-0, but it's flashed wide of the goal mark, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, double Dutch despair there as that chance went wide. Vinicius,
I like what he did there. It's
into Guano. He's tried to pick out Pellegrini, but just ran out of space. Forrest now for Celtic. Very open game after what started off as quite cagey in game 1. Forrest to Gamboa as we head towards the final stages of the first half. And still, Monaco can't find a way through this Celtic backline. Just the 1 goal in almost 1.5 games between the pair. Johnston for Henderson, Griffiths, Bayo, they've worked that well. Griffiths, great goal! That is superb! Great stop from Griffiths. And Indominator and E.C. O'Neill have their noses in front, and as things stand, Celtic could be heading through to the finals today.
And that is absolutely world class from the boys from Celtic. We've seen it time and time again over the course of the eFootball.Pro League, that if you miss your chances, you will be punished, and that's exactly what's happened first in that first game, and now again AS Monaco missing a hatful of chances. Celtic go down the other end, and it's wonderful, wonderful, quick, intricate one-touch football, and then fired into the top right-hand corner. And importantly, it's AS Monaco 0, Celtic FC 1 in this second game.
Well, I wonder if Indominator's work as a pundit on the eFootball.Pro League.
What a beautiful man Josh is. Look at that.
Has helped him work out exactly the best way to try and topple Monaco, because at the moment Celtic have the hoodoo sign over them. They won the first game 1-0, and they are leading 1-0 in this one with time ticking down at the end of the first half. And Kudu, though, for Pellegrini. Monaco will feel that the scorelines in both games are somewhat harsh on them, and they have a free kick late on.
We talked about before the game, we talked about the team chemistry that Celtic have, and they've certainly sort of really, grasped that with everything, haven't they? And they've managed to take on this AS Monaco team who are flying full of goals, and they've put in such a great team performance here, and they've managed to take a 1-0 lead as we tick towards the end of the first half. It has finished AS Monaco 0, Celtic 1, and it's easy, isn't it, so far for Celtic?
Well, I just think that defensively it has been a masterclass from them. You can't stress enough how full of goals Monaco have been in the past, and the attacking prowess that they possess. Yes, they've come close on a couple of occasions. They've hit the frame of the goal twice, and the goalkeeper's had to make some good saves. But Forrest in round the back here. Celtic looking for the second goal that would give them a real cushion, and they very nearly find it. Subasic gets his angles right there. Well, you wouldn't have seen this pattern of play coming, given the way that the first game started. Pellegrini almost in round the back. Hendry can send it back to Gordon, who took a little bit of a gamble, but I think he was caught there, so it will be a free kick.
They're certainly sticking with this play out from the back sort of game plan, and it's worked so far, so maybe you'd be foolish to change that, but they're certainly taken a few possible unnecessary risks, especially being 1-0 up in this second game and winning that first game, but they're still creating quite a few chances themselves now as well in this second game.
Yeah, they lost to Barcelona in the last match day, 3-2 defeat and then a 2-all draw, but on course to pick up a win on match day 4. Remember, a draw in this game would be good enough for them, as they won the first game in the best of 2. Bitten onto Gamboa. Another goal now, and surely the worst that could befall them would be a draw,
which would see them with all 3 points, wouldn't it, Mark? It would be good enough, and then all eyes would be on the Schalke 04 result to see whether they do qualify today for that top 3 knockout, which of course will be made into a top 4 as soon as the
Henderson with a very good challenge there, and complaints that there was no foul forthcoming there, as the two sets of players have a dialogue. Guanu going through here, chance, and Gordon in the way. But again, you do just wonder if Monaco have let themselves down with their finishing this afternoon.
That, for me, was a big missed opportunity. The rest of them, you could possibly say they were unlucky, hitting the woodwork. The goalkeeper's made a good few saves. That was a straight one-on-one, and it was straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. And you just felt there, if that was to be a goal, you'd start asking questions about the lack of concentration after the outburst from Asmak Abali. You saw Eldridge laughing and possibly a slight lack of concentration. But unfortunately for AS Monaco, it wasn't to be again, and Celtic managed to survive. But now they're on the counter-attack themselves, and a second goal cushion would surely be enough, you feel, based on the inefficiencies in front of goal for AS Monaco as the ball gets played down that right-hand side. Good defending again, though. They've been brilliantly marshalling the AS Monaco strike force, haven't they?
Indeed. Forrest to Johnston. Here's Henderson. Jemison picks it up.
Jemison.
Indeed. And remember, Monaco have got to score twice if they're to avoid defeat in this particular match, having lost the first game to Celtic. A draw not good enough for them in this game. They have to win it. Benkovic back to Gordon. Meanwhile, from a Celtic perspective, keeping the ball will do for them as we go through to the midway point in the second half. Johnston for Henderson. Tierney's in a bit of space. He goes the other way to Forrest instead. Back to Henderson. This is nice from Celtic. Henderson then ran straight into Naldo, and Kudu's early pass sets Pellegrini away. Guanu back for Pellegrini. Guanu's in space. He just dallied a bit too much, and Pellegrini and Vinicius both in each other's way, and the flag eventually goes up.
They just tried to do too much there.
In fact, it's a free kick. The referee pulled it back. It looked as though it was for offside, and instead, this is a real opportunity for Monaco.
You feel it's do or die now for the French team, and Celtic making quite a few changes here to try and just shut up shop for the remaining 15 to 20 minutes or so. How do AS Monaco break this Celtic team down now? Because they've created chances, they've missed them. Is it just a case of being better in front of goal, or do they need to
this is
change?
A prime opportunity for them from the set piece. Naldo looks like he's going to have a strike at goal, and he is one of the better strikers of the ball. In fact, they've switched it, and
he's a big man in the wall, isn't he? You want to avoid him.
Well, this could be the key moment. In comes the free kick. Oh, they've sold everyone short, and it's another great save. Well, the flag, I think, has gone up this time. Well, they decided against a strike at goal. They tried to catch Celtic out. They did, but they didn't catch the keeper out.
Again, it would probably go down as another poor execution of a finish, really, for me. As, like you said, it took all of the Celtic defenders by surprise when they played it short. But the finish was poor again as Celtic managed to clear their lines out towards this near touchline. 74 minutes gone here in this second game. Celtic lead by that 1-0. A lovely team goal it was as well. Well worked in and around the penalty area to go on top of their 1-0 win in the first game. 2 1-0s potentially on the cards, and you can't say it's not deserved.
Golovin for Vinicius, and Bitten given away. That was sloppy, but they get away with it again. The Celtic noticed that only 71% pass completion from Monaco a couple of minutes ago. And you can see there that Celtic dominating the ball as well. Credit must go to the tactical changes that have been made, because that was not the pattern early on in the first game. But they have been a bit sloppy there. Vinicius can slip in Golovin. He's got to go down the other end as quickly as possible. Navarro in for Golovin. Great goal! Splendid finish. And finally, they do find the back of the net.
Finally, and speaking of finally, I think that's pretty much what Usmakabal was saying there with those gestures. He could not believe that is the first goal that they've scored in today's Matchday 4. It was a lovely, well-worked goal in the end, a stunning finish as the ball gets played over the top. Left foot volley past Craig Gordon, and really that was the only way to get it past him, because he's had a great game as well.
Well, it's interesting looking at it that this is arguably one of the most difficult chances of the 2 games that we've seen, and they've stuck it away when they've had a hatful of other opportunities that have been easier to score, and they haven't made them count. So
I think what he was saying there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and how many chances do we have to score to create to score? But of course, how does Celtic respond now? Because they know that it's still good enough to get all 3 points if it remains the same. Do they shut up shop, or do they try and go for a second goal, Mark?
It's a grandstand finish now, and well, that goal sort of came out of nothing in a way. You can't really legislate for that type of finish. It was just one ball over the top and then a fabulous volley. I don't think Celtic need to change too much, perhaps just being a bit sloppy in possession. They've had a couple of scares when they've lost the ball in dangerous areas. They just need to play it sensible, play it safe, and they should be able to get away with only 9 minutes left of the game to get the draw that would see them win the match.
Yeah, it was the sort of goal that I remember scoring in my heyday, to be honest, but of course that's not true. I don't think I've ever scored a goal as good as that, but nevertheless we digress. 84 minutes gone here. AS Monaco 0, Celtic 1, and well, it's not, is it? It's 1-1, so I don't know, unless we've missed. No, it is 1-1, as you can see the score. No, it is 1-1. Sorry, we're getting very confused there by the on-screen graphics. AS Monaco 1, Celtic 1. We know, as things stand, that Celtic are going to get all 3 points unless AS Monaco can snatch something in the remaining 4 minutes or so, and they have the ball. It's do or die. It's last chance saloon for the French club. Otherwise, they will be walking away empty-handed and waiting for results on match day 5. Whereas
Golovin with a chance here, and he's got 2 in the area to aim for. And Pellegrini, and Gordon to the rescue again, and that might be the save that ensures that Celtic win this match with a draw and a win across the 2 games. Time is almost up now. Burke with the header forwards. They just need it down the other end. Gamboa will surely just smash this upfield. In fact, he's trying to run down the clock. Griffiths, I wonder if that was the wrong decision, because no, that is it. It's all over. And Celtic have won the match. They have drawn the second game 1-1 after winning the first game 1-0. And it is Celtic who take the 3 points from their match against Monaco.
It's an absolutely huge result for Celtic FC, and well, it's got to go down as missed opportunities really for AS Monaco. They created countless chances there, especially in that first game, hitting the woodwork twice, and they managed to draw the second game, but it wasn't enough on the day. We will be going shortly to the mix zone with Diego Lorin, who will be having some reaction from the players. But how do you see going forwards now from those 2 teams? You know, were you impressed by Celtic's performance? Do you think that was what you would expect from them? You know, where do you see that performance for them?
I was very impressed with the way that they altered things defensively, because they pushed the midfield further up, as we saw relatively early. They recognised where the game was being likely to be won by Monaco, and they adjusted, and after that they couldn't find a way through, and they also benefited from a lack of clinical finishing from two players that normally are very clinical in front of goal.
Yeah, I mean, they scored countless goals in Matchday 3, and just the one today, and to be honest, it was I mean, it was a massive mistake in that first game, wasn't it? Because they, like we said, they hit the woodwork twice. They missed a great chance. Craig Gordon made a wonderful save. And then you kind of felt, we said it around half-time, that it was one of those games that you were thinking something was brewing, something from Celtic, you know, a moment of brilliance, a little mistake. And, of course, it came in the form, as you can see on the screen now, as you know, in the form of a mistake.
And I guess that's going to be the thing that they'll look at afterwards, will Lotfi and Uzmakabal, the fact that there was a mistake that led to the crucial goal that Celtic scored in game one. Nothing they could do about that goal. That was very nicely taken, but they had so many opportunities. If you look at it over the course of the two games, they could easily have won both of the games. As it's turned out, they've drawn one and lost one, and that's what happens when you don't take the opportunities.
Yep, of course, the two big missed opportunities that stand in my head for me were, of course, the one-on-one where he tried to chip it over the goalkeeper and ended up putting it straight at Craig Gordon. And, of course, the one where the two dummy shots, and then the goalkeeper came out and he kind of tried to place it straight down the middle, and it flicked off the goalkeeper's shin and over the top. And, you know, when it's not your day, it's not your day. And as you can see, it has finished with a Celtic victory and 3 points, which puts them in a position where they could qualify today if Schalke 04 lose.
No, actually, if Schalke 04 don't win, so even if they draw their match, then
there you go.
They
and that's
will
why,
be going through to the finals.
And that's why Mark's here, because he just likes to correct me because I'm always wrong. No, it is, you know, it's that, and that's great to see. That is potentially, we're just getting word that we may be going to the mix zone very, very soon, so we'll keep you posted on that. Well, yeah, we can actually go right now. Diego and, of course, AS Monaco, who will be reeling a little bit. How do they feel, Diego?
Thanks, guys. Yes, I'm joined here by Lotfi and Uzmakabal, guys.
I want to ask Adam's question, really. How do you feel after kind of enjoying maybe the better chances but not finishing them?
Our feeling is a big frustration, you know. I think we played very good in the first game. They had one shoot, they score, us no. And lucky, but it's the game, you know.
It's the game, it's the game. Uzmakabal, we saw you very tense up during a moment there. You were very tense. I didn't quite exactly follow what it is that you were screaming about. What was it that you were so upset about? Or maybe, Lotfi, you can translate if the English is...
T'étais tendu de ouf et tout. Pourquoi t'as vu?
Pourquoi? J'ai vu parce qu'on a beaucoup raté. Je pense qu'on méritait la victoire. Maintenant voilà, c'est le jeu. Bravo à eux, c'est tout.
He was very nervous in the game because we had many shoots, many occasions to goal, and no, and them one shoot, one goal, so big frustration, you know. But congrats to them.
Congrats. The guys from Monaco being very showing sportsmanship. Uzmakabal and Lotfi, congrats, or best of luck to you guys as well, I should say. Very unfortunate on the day to not maybe have scored more goals. You guys normally score more goals, known as a high-scoring team. I think right now we're ready to take on the boys from Celtic, as I bid you guys good luck and farewell. We'll see you guys in the last match day, of course. I'm going to be shortly joined by the winners. Come on over here, guys. Jos and Eldridge. What a change. What a change. These guys, of course, smiles on the face, faces all around. How do you guys feel today went? I was talking earlier, obviously, to Uzmakabal and Lotfi, talking about that maybe they were unlucky. They had good chances, but missed them on the night. How do you guys feel this game went? Was it under your control?
Yeah, if you're looking at the first game, we had a bit of... it was very difficult to play against them, especially the first half. But second half, we made some tactical changes. And yeah, if you compare this game with the previous match day, we only had 3 games to prepare ourselves for the match day. And this time, we had a whole month to prepare. And as you can see, we've made a lot of tactical plans. And today, it went out pretty well, so yeah.
Did it go as planned, though? I mean, you guys did enjoy more possession. Obviously, you guys were efficient in front of goal. Beautiful second goal, tiki-taka, football total type of goal, which is obviously great to see. But did you feel the game was in your control? Because as I mentioned before, Monaco did have some excellent chances that normally you'd expect them to go in, though.
Yeah. Well, we felt very comfortable, especially the second match, because we knew that they had to win the second game, and they were keep pressing, so which creates a lot of space for us to play our game, you know. And yeah, as I said before, it worked out pretty well today. So
it did work out very well. Celtic for now, of course, with one more game going back to the top of the table. So the best of luck to you both. I had you guys to pick to win, so I'm very happy.
Here.
These confident bunch, they're stating their claim. Very happy, of course. But that's it from me, Adam. Back over to you.
Thanks, Diego. Lovely to hear both sets of players there. I mean, it was a difficult one because, I mean, you've got AS Monaco who are there as a team. How do you feel that outburst, you know, from Asmakabal, who is used to playing 1v1s? Is that something that you think would affect playing in a co-op if your teammate starts sort of creating that sort of atmosphere, or do you think it would help you as his fellow player?
Difficult to tell. I think one of the most intriguing things was what Indominator was saying about the fact that they've been working very hard on the tactical side of things. They've had a bit more preparation time now, and you could see that out on the field today. And that really did come to the fore. The fact that, you know, they saw what Monaco were doing, they readjusted, and from there on onwards, they were really in the box seat. So it shows how much practice can make perfect.
Absolutely. Now, our next game is, of course, Boavista versus Schalke 04. And we have a little video clip, actually, from one of the Schalke players who's going to give you a few tips and tricks in this wonderful world of PES. Take it away.
Hi, guys. Now I have some tips for you to get a better PES player in 2019. My first tip is watch pro players' videos and try to copy their styles. Their passing, their dribbling, their shooting. If you try to copy this, you will get better. My second tip is go into training mode and try to find some spots where the shooting and scoring is perfectly, and you score easy goals with them. My third tip is try to get into competitions like online mode tournaments, my club, and try to find good players to match. And when you match them, I think you will get better because you will play higher level. My fourth tip is play against the computer. So when you play against the computer, you get a game playing routine. When you have to pass, when you have to shoot. Normally you will get very strong with it, but the KI is a bit complicated, more than a normal player. So for the beginning, it's very good to play the computer. And my fifth tip is try to find your own tactics. Try to create your own gaming style and train with your own tactics very often. So routine is everything in PES. It's easier to handle your gaming style, to have a clear game plan and to score goals. And my last special tip for you guys is go into training mode and try to handle free kicks, because free kicks are a special weapon against very good opponents. Yeah, they don't think you can score from free kicks, but when you can, you have a special weapon to score goals. Thank you for listening, guys, and I hope you will get very strong in 2019, or maybe we will see you here in 2020. Thank you.
Lovely to hear words of wisdom there from El Matador himself, the Schalke 04 player. And of course, we will have Schalke versus Boavista up next. But just a final word on what you've just seen there, Mark. We talked about Celtic and how they kind of grew into the game, and they seem to have a specific game plan. They've been working, like they said, for over a month on this now. Was it a case of a great game plan, or were they lucky, do you think?
I think it was a bit of both. I mean, their game plan was spot on. It completely changed the dynamic of both of those games. So you cannot underestimate how important that tactical tweak was. However, they did get a bit fortunate because Monaco had a number of chances that on another day they could quite easily and probably should have put away. And then it could have been completely different and Monaco may well have won the match. So a bit of both.
Absolutely. Hard luck, obviously, to AS Monaco, but really good performance in the end from Celtic FC. And we now know, as you said, that if Schalke don't win, Celtic will qualify for the knockout stages from today.
Absolutely correct. So, you know, there's a lot on this game for Schalke, but also for the other teams that are watching on. So, yeah, big encounter coming up.
So in terms of this game, I mean, how do you see it? Schalke versus Boavista, of course. Boavista, one of these teams who have kind of tried to, you know, break out and turn performances into results, and they've struggled a little bit.
Yeah, they have, and you know, I think it could be a very nip and tuck game, and I think the players are ready now, so let's crack on.
Absolutely. So Boavista versus, of course, Schalke. Let's go. Players, take it away.
Captain Q, please. Right, so as you can see here on your screen, we have Boavista FC versus Schalke 04. We said how this is a big game for everyone involved, watching Schalke, of course, because it directly affects other teams. But this is a crucially important game for Boavista as well, because they know that, well, they have to win, don't they, really, to have any form of chance of sort of building momentum.
Yeah, if Boavista failed to win, then they go automatically into the last chance group. So, yeah, anything other than a victory will mean that they cannot qualify for the finals via the regulation match day. So a lot riding on it for them and also for Schalke as well. And an interesting little aside to this is that Christopher, who's playing for Boavista, played in the eFootball.Pro Invitational in August 2018 when he was representing Santos, and they lost to Schalke in the final of that competition.
Absolutely. Another wonderful fact there from Mark. I love having you with me. Of course, Tiamat on your screen there, who has been known to be one of the best 1v1s in the world, certainly last year on the PES League World Tour. He now joins up with Christopher PW, who is no stranger to the big stage, but his sort of success comes a little bit earlier. I think around 2012 or something along those lines, I believe. I'm sure Mark has that specific stat.
Yeah, Christopher, a very experienced PES player, the first ever PES League champion, actually, back in 2010, 29 years of age, so one of the elder statesmen that are participating. Tiamat, meanwhile, French champion in PES in 2014, winner of the PES League in the Asia and Americas last year as well, so plenty of titles amongst all of these. And of course you've got El Matador for Schalke, Mike Linden, to those of you that don't know him by his handle. He is actually the oldest player participating in this round of games at 30 years of age, and as I mentioned, he won the eFootball.Pro Invitational in August 2018 when his Schalke side saw off Santos, who had Christopher representing them.
And of course he has a new teammate, well, not new today, but new as of match day 3, because in match day 1 and 2 he was partnered with Mateus, wasn't he? So that's changed.
Merriman, yeah, the 23-year-old who has played with El Matador before. He was alongside him last year in the PES regional finals. We saw a game earlier that was settled by just a solitary goal, and that happened in Schalke's game 1 on the last match day when El Matador scored the only goal in a 1-0 success over Nantes. They then lost the reverse fixture 5-3. As for Boavista, they beat Monaco 3-2, then lost to them by 6-1. So both clubs coming in off the back of draws on the last match day.
Yep, just quickly before we start, you now know that everyone's looking at Schalke for the results for their own personal gain. But of course, Schalke cannot qualify either with a win or draw or defeat today. They will have to depend on matchday 5 results. Whereas, of course, Boavista, we know, have to win to have any chance of finishing in the top 3. But if they don't, it's not the end of the world. They can still qualify as the best of the rest. So we will have the 3 that will qualify in 1, 2 and 3 positions, and then there will be a playoff between 4, 5 and 6, and one of those will join the top 3 to make it a top 4, and the knockout stages will begin. Mark, take it away.
Yeah, so it's Boavista in the fetching black and white kit that are on the move early on here and nearly have a goal inside the first minute. The flag is up though, so Schalke in their traditional royal blue strip will get the game restarted with Ralph Fairman's ball upfield. Too high for Harit, and Wright jumps forward as well. Bentaleb in the right place for Schalke. Samu has it though for Boavista. Lopez early into Falcone, offloads to Samu. Samu spotted the run through the centre from Indiu. Pedrigao, and Indiu working it back again. Well, chance! And tucked wide, and the flag sparing the blushes of Boavista there, because that really should have been the first goal.
It really should have done, and it was a miss that we've already seen today, most notably from AS Monaco, a similar sort of end result there. Of course, nobody wants the lottery of the knockout stages, the best of the rest, should I say. They want to finish in that top 3. So do you think that'll play into this game? Do you think that we'll see a cagey performance from Schalke, who kind of know that matchday 5 is the big one for them, whereas Boavista know that 3 points is necessary today?
No, I think that they'll play their natural games to start with, and then maybe think about it midway through the second game if things are still nip and tuck. Meanwhile, here's Indio into Pedrigao, and looking for Rafael Lopez. Mendiel in the right place and up towards Schupf. Konoplyanka's kept that in well. Schupf on the move now. Boavista have plenty of defenders back. Schupf making good ground, and Bolo for Harit. Harit, can he play the ball to Bentaleb? He can. Bentaleb's poke pass nearly comes for Wright, and eventually Boavista scramble it clear.
Yeah, it was another good period of play there from Schalke. They weren't able to really create a chance, and Boavista can bring it down this right-hand side. 15 minutes gone here, still deadlocked with no real big chances of note, other than the one that was, of course, deemed offside already, as Falcone is dispossessed by Bruma, and it's fired downfield. And Boavista just starting to build a little bit in this game as the ball gets played through. Another offside flag is given, and that's a tight one, but it's offside nevertheless.
Seen plenty of offsides in both of the matches so far. I wonder if that's down to slack play from the side attacking, or if teams have tightened up their offside trap. Mbolo was hoping for the foul there. Referee not inclined to give it. We've seen quite a few tackles go unpunished as Taloka brings it forwards. Falcone looking for Samu, but Bentaleb was wise to it. All the way back to Ralph Fairman. Boavista with the only real chance so far, and that was deemed offside anyway. As the flag goes up once again, and Samu will take the resulting free kick for Boavista, who were 3-2 winners in their first game against Monaco on the last match day, and were then thumped 6-1 in the reverse game. So contrasting fortunes for them. Schalke well aware of what it's like to play in a tight game. They beat Nantes by 1-0 in the first of their 2 games against the French side on the last match day. But then we're on the receiving end of a thumping defeat as well by 5-3 in the second instalment of that. This certainly a game that is erring more towards the tighter side of things, as Sané locks it forwards to Schupf.
A lot of thumping there, Mark, from you.
Bentaleb towards Wright, picked up by Bentaleb again. Here's Mbolo, and he's looking for Schupf. Haji Wright making the run. Konoplyanka was there as well. Boavista can send it upfield. Neither team really striking much of a rhythm so far, both seemingly cancelling each other out. Salif Sané has it to Mendiel. And he goes all the way back to Ralph Fairman. Somewhat defensive-minded, both teams. That's not a great clearance, though. Here's Lopez. Sané to the rescue. Now Schupf finding Bentaleb, and Bolo's in a bit of space. Bentaleb goes for Harit instead. Harit to Alessandro Schupf. Harit was there, but so was Indio. And Obria to Lopez, lovely pass, Falcone's through, what a chance this is, and it's taken, and Boavista have the first goal with the first genuine opportunity of the game, and they lead Schalke by a goal to nil, and that could well be good news for Celtic.
Wonderful, wonderful goal there from Boavista, like a knife through butter. The through ball went through, and Falcone made absolutely no mistake, firing into the bottom left-hand corner. And we were, as I looked at the stats from 25 minutes, around that sort of time, we had 69% possession for Boavista, which would kind of suggest a pattern of play. We've seen Boavista being far more, pushing this game, trying to get that opening goal, of course, because it is more important, and that cagey start from Schalke has cost them, and they are on the back foot, and they have to respond now, as we can see there, the lovely finish into the bottom left-hand corner.
And remember, if Schalke fail to win their match against Boavista, then that will mean that Celtic are assured of a place in the finals.
So straight away we have some changes here for Schalke. What do they have to do? What's gone wrong there in that opening period? Were they too cautious?
I think so, yeah, just a bit too defensively minded, and we saw how important tactical changes were.
Monaco and Celtic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, this could well be quite a pivotal moment in the game, depending on if they get their tactics right. But obviously, it's within Boavista's control to alter their tactical outlook as well. Mbolo in towards Harit, who's turned away from a challenge well. Konoplyanka now can feed Bril Mbolo. Harit through the centre, poke towards Konoplyanka. They've worked that well. Schupf, chance, 1-1. That is a fabulous goal and an immediate response from Schalke.
As simple as that. We talk time and time again in this wonderful world of PES how changes, both formation and tactical personnel, can be so crucial, and it happened in the first game between AS Monaco and Celtic, and it's happened again here. It's Groundhog Day. We make the change, we get the goal, and it's a stunning team goal from Schalke 04. And just brilliant to watch, breathtaking stuff. Chipped over the top, first time pass through the middle, and then fired into the bottom left-hand corner. Goalkeeper, absolutely no chance.
So 1-1, and from a cagey start, the game has exploded into life. Both were involved in one high-scoring game apiece in the last match day, and perhaps this has the makings of another now. 1-1 then between Boavista and Schalke as we head towards the closing stages of the first half of the first game. And remember, if Boavista fail to win this match, they automatically go into the last chance group. Rafael Silva has it for the Portuguese side, given straight to Mendel though. Mendel allowed to advance and allowed to play it forwards to Wright, who nods it back to Harit. Harit offloads to Mendel. Quickly closed down, but he's turned nicely and has found Wright as well. Clever flick, nearly reached Mbolo. Neris intervened. Schupf can pick it up. Bit of pressure building now from Schalke. That tactical change looks to have done the job. Konoplyanka's ball in wasn't bad. Boavista clear it as far as Matthias Indio. And Indio now trying to relieve some of the pressure. Here is Pedregao. And he is closed down by Harit. Mendel across there. Indio forwards. Rafael Lopez, who scored the opening goal, can't get on the end of that one. Schupf can drill it in towards Mendel. He finds Harit. You'd say that it's Schalke who are probably ending the half the stronger. Mbolo back for Wright, shooting chance here perhaps. Goes for the pass instead, and that is the end of an intriguing first half. Boavista 1, Schalke 1, Adam.
Yeah, you felt that as we tick towards the end of that first half that Boavista were just waiting for that half-time whistle to go in and regroup, and luckily they've been able to get in at half-time still level, because that half kind of got away from them, didn't it?
It did. It again, I think that we're seeing in this particular round of fixtures how important small tactical changes can be in the complexion of a game. Samu sends it away. Falcone can flick it on. Rafael Lopez now. Rafael Lopez maintains possession. Indio for Falcone. Indio again. He slipped that into Lopez. They've worked this well. Would have been a terrific goal. And it's a top save
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful interchange again there. It would have been a lovely team goal. The right foot shot curled towards that top right-hand corner, but the goalkeeper made a stunning save in the end. What's interesting is how these two tactical changes have affected the two games respectively, and how whether Barcelona and, of course, Nantes take that on board and possibly start more offensively, because both teams who have changed it have actually been better when they've kind of been less cagey.
Be interesting to see as well if we get any opportunities from set pieces, because if you were watching that video earlier, El Matador's advice was to practice free kicks because they can be a big weapon in PES games. Bentaleb beat to it by Falcone. Speaking of free kicks, here is one now.
Well, the first goal in that game, in the first game, Celtic versus AS Monaco, came from a set piece, of course. The corner that came in, the goalkeeper came and missed, and it was fired into that bottom left-hand corner. So, as you said, they are very, very crucial, especially in such tight games.
Mbolo has it, but he's dispossessed by Samu, who can bring it forwards. He tried to play in Falcone. Taloka has to work it onto Samu. They've done that well. 3 in the area. Samu's cross. Falcone doesn't get there. Shuk is there. And Konoplyanka perhaps with a chance on the counter. Mbolo has Haji Wright further forward. Still Mbolo for now. Which way is he going to go? He's picked out Harit, and he's played the pass well. Amin Harit cuts it back. Mbolo! Should have been 2-1.
Massive, massive chance there for Schalke. And the defender's just got dragged all the way across, and it left him with a lot of space on that left-hand side. Fired across, and really, he's got to be doing much better. And those faces say it all. The goal was gaping. The goalkeeper was nowhere, but it's gone the wrong side of the post.
So it remains 1-1, and the game remains on a bit of a knife edge. Remember, Boavista, if they fail to win this match, they automatically move into the last chance group. And Celtic interested observers, because if Schalke don't win... Shelter.
That's a nice team.
Find some shelter.
Shelter FC.
If Schalke don't win, then Celtic will qualify for the finals. Here's Harit in towards Haji Wright. Wright for Konoplyanka, looking for Mbolo. And Wright loses out. Pedregao for Samu. Indio now. Game just losing a bit of shape. Rafael Lopez has shaped that into Falcone well. Falcone angle against him. Rafael Lopez picks up possession and chips it across. Samu almost. And Bruma can slap it away for Schalke.
I mean, this 1-1 scoreline, it reflects very evenly on what we've seen. Both teams have had some big chances, Mark.
Indeed. Free kick, and will El Matador be able to use this as a weapon for Schalke, as both teams just make some alterations, and the smallest of tweaks can have the biggest of impacts at this level.
Do you think they're going to go for the winner here, or do you think both teams are going to be happy with a draw in this first game? Of course,
it's been fairly cagey, so I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to err on the side of caution, with the next game coming straight off the back of it. Remember, in this best-of-2 format that we have, and you can see there that Boavista going for a slightly more attack-minded formation. Schalke, meanwhile, still with the holding midfielder right in the centre, Harit at the tip of the diamond. So it's more ambitious from Boavista, you'd say, but it's concentrated on trying to make the most of the left-hand side as they look at things.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether these changes make any difference again, because every time so far today a team has really focused on some form of tactical change, it has paid dividends almost instantly. 64 minutes gone, can we get an instant response? As you saw there, possession 50% apiece. It's very finely balanced here on in the stat sheet anyway.
Serda's free kick is a decent one. Harit was lurking in a promising position. Mateus has it for Boavista though. 1-1 with 3/4 of the game gone, and plenty of changes being made by both sides. Falcone in towards Bueno, but Suat Serda can work it back to Nastasic. And Schalke again erring on the cautious side there, as it goes all the way back to Ralph Fairman. He picks out Amin Harit. Harit on the move here. The scoreline may say 2-1, but it is still 1-1, unless we've missed a goal.
No, as far as I'm aware, It is 1-1, so ignore that top left-hand side for the time being. I'm sure it will change instantly, unless there has been a ghost goal that we neither of us saw. And that would be quite embarrassing for both of us to miss it. Nevertheless, we digress. We continue. 71 minutes gone as Schalke take the ball down on the halfway line. And it's a chance here for Matondo down the left-hand side. A chance to cross it into the danger area. Right up with a header. It almost dropped to him. Bole does. And it's fired goalwards. And what a save in the end from the Boavista #1. And it's a real let-off there, isn't it?
Indeed, Falcone can work it into Matheus, but he's decided to keep possession himself. Now Matheus is in a bit of space. Bueno through the centre, looking for him now. Bruma got up well. Harry picks it up. Closing stages, a goal now could be absolutely massive, not just for these two sides, but for plenty of the others as well. And they might get it. Rafael Lopez. Bueno must be, and is. And Boavista back ahead late on. What a big goal that could be.
Wonderful, wonderful to see, because we were talking how it was a 2-1 to Schalke. We now have a 2-1, but it's gone the other way. It's Boavista FC who have got it, and it was a goal worthy of champions there, Mark, as it was pinged around the edge of the 18-yard box, and then the cross went towards the back post and fired into an empty net. Wonderful to watch, and a goal that could be so, so crucial in this eFootball.Pro League, because Matchday 4 is the most important match day for Boavista this season, of course, because they know that nothing less than a win will do for instant qualification in Matchday 5.
Celebrations for those two there, and Tiamit scored a 92nd minute winner when Boavista beat Monaco in the first game of their encounter on the last match day. And have they struck late on to good effect in this one as well? It certainly looks like it.
Remember, this is just the first game of 2 matches to make up the actual result. Of course, if Schalke were to win in the second game, then it would be 1 point shared. And what's nice to see is Christopher actually, you know, scoring that goal and being very positive, because it's almost become, for me personally, watching on the sidelines, because he was so successful, you know, many years ago, he's got such a history in the game. It's been like to try and claw back something in the latter years. It's been a bit painful at times, and it's nice to see him at this moment in time on the winning side, because he's certainly got the talent.
And Boavista have certainly got a great opportunity here to claw their way back into contention for qualification for the finals via the matchday route rather than the last chance group. Here is Nastasic, meanwhile, though. Just over 10 minutes of Pez time left to play. Talakwa can mop that up and send it upfield. Nastasic lets it run. Bruma, Falcone across to close him. This is Salif Sané. He's now on the move, and just signs that Boavista are starting to sit a little deep. It is 2-1 to Boavista, despite the scoreline that you can see at the top of your screen, but it's 2-2 now. Goal out of nothing. Celebrations for Schalke. Boavista caught napping, and it is all square.
Yeah, it was always worrying that that was going to happen, because it was so important for Boavista to win this game overall that you just felt, as we ticked into the final stages, being 2-1 in front, they would drop deeper and deeper and deeper, and the nerve set in, and eventually Schalke have broken them down. It's a sloppy bit of defending for me there. He couldn't get anywhere near. I don't know whether it was Mbolo, should I say, on the end of that cross. I couldn't quite see. But yeah, it goes down as a defensive error for me, and the goalkeeper could have possibly done a little bit better. He was fired in hard and low, to be fair, but it was fairly close to him, and celebrations all round for the Schalke pair. Game on 2-2, and I'm sure Schalke would take a draw after trailing twice in this match.
Well, heartbreak for Boavista, who just had a short period of time to try and see out, but unable to do so. And now it's a question of who wants it more, who wants to push on to try and snatch a victory in this first game, or are they both content to settle for a share and make it into a knockout game effectively in the second instalment of this. Falcone to get us underway then, with 8 minutes of Pez time left to play. Rafael Lopez has it for Boavista. Here's Bueno. Matondo across. Bueno early into Falcone. Rafael Lopez. Falcone. Serdar can clear away. Matondo now comes forwards. Haji Wright, not too many further forwards though for Schalke. Caligiuri in possession. Taloka across. Matondo can receive the ball here. Neres takes it off him though, and then puts it out of play, so throw for Schalke.
Yeah, last few minutes here. Can we get a goal that would be so crucial in the overall outcome of not only this first game, but going into that second game? If one of these two teams could grab a winner here, and they have a free kick here right on the edge of the area, Schalke, and after this first game we will go to the table so that we can see exactly how the game so far have affected who is in our top three who are going through. Well, after
has left it for Caligiuri, and Caligiuri can take it short to Embolo, but that's a silly pass. Look how far offside he is, and that will leave them kicking themselves at an opportunity to snatch potentially a late winner, especially given that El Matador spoke about how much of a weapon set pieces can be, and they've wasted a pretty promising one there. Taloka.
Maybe he should have watched his own video, Mark.
I know you watch a lot of your own videos. Here's Neres finding Rafael Silva. He can knock it back across to Taloka. Nicely taken down. Not a nice pass, though. Caligiuri intervenes. Neres finds Mateus, and we're into the last few seconds now. Is there one last chance? Falcone, who scored the opening goal with a poor delivery there. Nastasic can smash it away. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Caligiuri for Embolo. They've got a runner on the left, but unable to find him. Harit has it, and Harit's pass is poor. Rafael Lopez to Falcone, to Ha through the middle. Falcone for now. Got to have a shot at goal here, or else the chance is going to go. Rafael Lopez, Mateus. Got to have a pop here, Mateus. Taking too long. The whistle's going to go any second. Pokes it through. Lopez, Falcone to win it!
Goal.
What a winner! Right at the death for Boavista.
Out of nothing.
Last kick of the game has won this game for Boavista, and what a way for them to do so as well. Super volley. It's 3-2.
Well, if you're going to win it in the 91st minute or so, that is the way to do it. The whole of the stadium has erupted here as Boavista have claimed a last-gasp winner here to make it 3-2, and what a way to do it. Chipped over the top, headed back, and what a volley. Take a bow, son. Absolutely world-class from that man there. Boavista 3, and they are sailing into this second game with a win under their belt, surely. Almost surprised from Tiamat that was even possible.
Well, they scored a 93rd minute winner in the first game of their match against Monaco last time out, and they have scored another last gasp winner to win late on by 3-2 once again. Lightning has struck twice for Boavista. They'll be hoping, though, that they don't have a repeat of what happened in the second game against Monaco, because they lost that one 6-1.
Yeah, let's forget that one, Mark. Let's forget that one. So, of course, they have won it by 3-2 in that first game. As things stand, so if we take it as things stand, so if this was a draw now in this second game... Well, no, we'll forget this so far. We've got Celtic, who are top of the table with 9 points from 4 games. Barcelona have 6 points from 3 games, so they do have a game in hand. They can go joint top, but they will be behind on goal difference, you would feel, unless they can have a high-scoring game there. AS Monaco in 3rd with 5 points. They have played the 4 games. Schalke with 4 games played as well on 4 points if they are able to win this next game and it becomes a draw. And Boavista also would be on 4 as well. FC Nantes on 2, but they have a game in hand as well. So it is all heating up in that table. And of course, I will repeat all of that again after this second game, because we will know exactly how things stand, because a lot of it rides on what we're going to see in this next 90 minutes plus stoppage time. What a way to win it.
Indeed. Are we hoping, Schalke, that El Matador can come to the party in the second game of this match? He scored once in the first game when they beat Nantes 1-0. Did get a hat-trick in their defeat to Nantes, which was by 5-3 in the second of those games, so perhaps he's warming up and ready to come out raring to go. Remember, if Schalke fail to win, which they are going to fail to win because they can't win this match now, so Celtic can celebrate qualify, because Celtic are already through to the finals. So Absolutely. Celtic are assured of a place in the finals in May already by virtue of the fact that Schalke cannot win this match.
Yep. Congratulations to Celtic FC, worthy qualification winners of course, in that top 3 they will be. They will have to play the knockouts, of course, if they're going to try and win this eFootball.Pro League first season, but it's still a good achievement to just make it through to the knockout stages. Now, how did Schalke respond? Because twice they came from behind, and that was a real, regardless of the brilliance of the goal, it was a real sucker punch, wasn't it, right in the death?
Well, it'll be all the experience of El Matador, the oldest player here at this round of fixtures at 30 years of age. He won the invitation in August 2018, so he's been there and done it before, and it'll be a test of character for him and his teammate as they try to recover from the body blow of that late loss.
Well, he'll need to continue his shooting boots, because he does now top the goal-scoring charts with 9 goals, joint with Lotfi, Pau, and that's it. Those 3 are the top of the scoring charts. The golden boot, should you say. But, of course, he has another game. He can get even more here.
Schupf has it for Schalke. Caligiuri. Slightly more attack-minded look from Schalke early on in this one, as it has to be, really, given the situation. Schupf in towards Mbolo, Konoplyanka, and Schupf back in again. Right! Oh, off the bar. So close. Konoplyanka picks up the pieces. Sends it wide to Caligiuri. Good stuff, this, from Schalke early on. Good ball as well. Mbolo nearly in there. And eventually Boavista can clear.
Well, you hope Boavista don't just sit back like they did in the first game, and they were kind of bailed out with a last-minute world wonder-class goal. Wonder-class goal, that's a good one. That's a good phrase. Of course, it was a late, brilliant winner, but they kind of almost threw away the win. Of course, conceding twice to go back to 2-2. You don't want to see him play too deep, as mentioned, and Schalke have started very much on the front foot as Wright goes through the middle. A chance here on the right foot. Good challenge in the end coming in for Boavista.
Here is Pedrogao for Boavista. Remember, if they fail to win, they are automatically into the last chance group, so they have to ensure that Schalke don't manage to win this game if they want to continue their hopes of avoiding the last chance group. Right.
Maybe they need another wonder-class goal.
Yes. Can't get enough of those. Stambouli for Schupf. Mbolo in the middle. It's gone towards Stambouli instead. Well, pressure from Schalke early on. This is more like it from their perspective. Boavista unable to really get out of their own half so far. Here's Indio, and that pass has gone astray. It's come off the Boavista man last, so Schalke will maintain possession. Midway through the first half, interestingly, that Boavista have had more of the ball, despite the fact that the game's been played mainly in their half. Salif Sané can bring it forwards now for the Royal Blues. Closed down, so has to go square to Harit. Harit early for Wright. Rafael Silva with the miscontrol.
I think it's just a case of sort of seeing this period of possession out, this period of pressure for Boavista, because Schalke are certainly on the front foot, but they've not made any inroads on that score card so far.
Harry with an intelligent header. Haji Wright nearly there. Falcone. It's ambitious, but he's pulled it off. Not too many further forwards for Boavista. Mateus India, the only one. Rafael Lopez is square, and his pass is straight to Stambouli. Given to Konoplyanka. Boavista's passing hasn't been of the highest order so far. Schupf is on the move here for Schalke and can work it into Caligiuri. Caligiuri closed down by Samu. Has to think about his options and finds Nastasic now. Certainly still Schalke who have had the better of it, but with half an hour played, no goals. Stambouli now picks out Caligiuri.
It's been nothing like the first game, though, has it?
Nothing at all. Konoplyanka's up there, might break for Wright. Stambouli keeps coming back towards that Boavista goal. Nastasic.
What do you put that down to? Do you put it down to the fact that Boavista are just happy to just play on the counter-attack now because they've got the one, got the win from the first game, or
perhaps they know that a draw would be good enough for them to win this match, that they're not taking too many risks, which is understandable. Indio away from Stambouli.
That's a naughty challenge, that. The referee plays advantage, though.
No advantage gained, which they'll be furious about. Konoplyanka can find Harry. Closing stages of the first half. Haji Wright and Mbolo. Konoplyanka one way, Mbolo back towards Wright. It's there. Schalke lead. But I wonder if there'll be some questions asked about whether that free kick should have been awarded.
Well, it was, I believe, thinking back, it was on a Schalke player. But of course, Still, a stoppage in play would mean that that wouldn't have happened. Nevertheless, it was a lovely finish. But we were saying, again, this seems to be a reoccurring pattern with Boavista FC. They just only kind of come to the fore offensively when they need to. They don't go out and try and win the game. They're more than happy if they go a goal up to sit back and try and hit on the counter-attack, and then they tend to concede. And in this game, they have the win in the bag, and they've played very much on the back foot, and again, it's caused them problems.
Well, nice finish, and fully deserved for the Schalke pair, given the way that this first half has panned out. So, as things stand, the match would be drawn, because it's set to be one win apiece from the two games, but Boavista have a free kick. Rafael Lopez was half thinking about taking it quickly. Now, what can they do from this free kick? It's a decent position. We saw one taken short that nearly came off in the first match between Celtic and Monaco.
We have been seeing this more and more from these players. The short free kick tends to work a lot better than the first time shot, actually. So something to think about at home if you are watching. But this time he does go for goal. And what does that tell you about what I'm saying? Absolutely nothing. Curse of the commentator yet again. What a finish over the top of the wall into the back of the net. And it's a wonderful, wonderful finish.
Yeah, Indio with the free kick that has gone in. And a very well taken opportunity there. Well, Matador spoke about how free kicks can be a weapon, and what a weapon that proved to be there. Fabulous free kick into the top corner, and Boavista score an absolute peach. Really nicely taken, in off the post. You couldn't get much better than that, and look at those celebrations.
So we've seen two absolutely incredible finishes from Boavista FC. Right out of the top draw. 42 minutes gone, and it's Boavista 1, Schalke 0-4-1, and worthy performance so far.
Yeah, excellent stuff from that free kick. Here is Nastasic now for Schalke. Into stoppage time at the end of this first half. Schupf picks up possession. And that is half-time, and it is all square. And as things stand, Boavista set to win the match because they won the first game, and it's a draw at the moment in the second.
Yeah, as I said, it seems to be that they kind of only go into sort of attacking mode when they need to. They don't kind of go and try and kill off the game. They sit back. We may see them because, again, they're now going through and winning. They won the first game. This is a draw. They're going to get the 3 points as things stand. We might see them jump back into that kind of, defensive mindset again. And hopefully I'm wrong for them. But at this stage, we will have to wait and see, because it seems to be a reoccurring pattern that we've seen over many of the games in the eFootball.Pro League so far.
Pedregao has it, and looking for the run of Nastasic. Nastasic has it, and here is Pedregao. Harit, and that is a free kick. So, game 2, 1-1. Game 1, 1-0 by Boavista.
So you might have been wondering why we went a little bit quiet there, because we just decided to turn our earphones off so that we could hear absolutely nothing. But I think we still kind of got the gist of what was happening across to you guys at home. It was solely our fault, or mainly my fault. I'll have to take full responsibility for that. But we had fun in the process. 53 minutes gone, Boavista 1, Schalke 0-4-1, and it's been a thoroughly entertaining game, hasn't it, Mark?
Fabulous free kick to level the scores in Bolo's ball in. We've seen two very nicely taken goals. In fact, Schalke's a well-worked move, and Boavista's a fine strike from the free kick. Schupf looking for Konoplyanka here. Harit was interested. It's cleared away. Rafael Lopez to Falcone, who waits for the run of Lopez. Delayed the pass. That was intelligently done. Rafael Lopez back for Indio, and Boavista coming out of their shells a bit more now. That's a decent-looking delivery. Caligiuri in the mix. Falcone's there as well. Falcone can turn. Can he pick out the pass? He can. They're queuing up in there. Good defending. Got in the right place there to clear Schalke's lines. Harry now with half an hour of this second game remaining. The score's 1-1. Space here for Schalke to exploit. Mbolo makes the run. He goes to Haji Wright instead. Clever header, but well watched as well. Harry has kept that in, but he was offside.
So, the big question is, can Boavista finally hold out here? They have 3 times given away a lead over the course of the 2 games. They do still find themselves in front on the fact that they won the first game, and this is, of course, a draw. They are heading for 3 points, but as we've said, Groundhog Day has struck many, many times for them across, you know, all of the match days, really. They found themselves in front quite a few times and been pegged back. Can they finally make it count to give themselves a big, big chance of instant qualification in the eFootball.Pro League here? It will be, of course, after match day 5 for them. They cannot qualify today.
So lots of tactical rumblings going on at the moment, and they have paid dividends for teams so far from what we've seen. And we're going to be welcoming Stuart Wesley, aka Wezza, later on when we get cracking with some analysis, which you can see later on.
The Wezzatron
towards match day 5, and he's casting his beady eye across all of these tactical tweaks that have been going on, so make sure that you get your fix of that to find out what the players have been doing to good effect. No pressure, Wezza, of course. Here is Falcone with the header. Pedregao picks it up. Falcone's made a clever run through the centre. Lopez is there as well. Can he get the cross in? He can, you know. Falcone back across and in! And Boavista lead! And they are well on course to win this match now. It's another nicely taken goal from those two.
Absolutely, it's taken them 3 match days to warm into the eFootball.Pro League, but boy are they here now. They've got a massive, massive chance now to give themselves a massive chance in match day 5 of qualification. Of course, they won the first game. They're 2-1 up now. They know a draw is all they need. They can afford to concede, and still they will have all 3 points from match day 4. Surely now they can't throw this away, Mark.
Well, it's kitchen sink time now for Schalke. I imagine we're going to see a tactical change immediately from the Royal Blues. Well worked goal.
We've seen them try that quite a few times. It hasn't quite come off. On this occasion it has, and they are starting to build quite a team here. Tiamat and Christopher PW. Boavista 2, Schalke 1 on the day. Of course, the first game finished 3-2. After that, sorry to repeat myself again, wonder-class finish in the 91st minute, of course. Now we go to a few tactical changes, you would think, for Schalke, but it seems to be Boavista who are doing all of the changes, and it's a case of this one's got away, you feel, at this moment in time for Schalke, Mark.
Well, they are trying to batten down the hatches, I assume, anticipating a real charge from Schalke. 2 experienced men, of course, in both teams. El Matador for Schalke and Christopher for Boavista, both with plenty of miles in the tank.
It's just not really happened for Schalke today, has it? They've had they've kind of been playing second fiddle and catch up most of the 2 games, haven't they?
Indeed, and they've had their chances. They hit the frame of the goal. You know, sometimes you need a bit of luck. Falcone for Boavista, midway through the second half now. Tahar for the Portuguese side. Falcone, Tahar again. Remember, Boavista had to win this match against Schalke to avoid being confirmed as one of the teams into the last chance group. Lopez, half a question about whether he may have been tripped there. Toyshet has it, out towards Harry. Again, no foul.
Bone crunching challenge again, like you said. He seems to be playing the case of play on, and
it's been a very fiercely contested match day so far in terms of the tackles out there. Matondo's worked it onto Mbolo. Neris, good defending there from Boavista. Caligiuri picks it up. Schalke needs something soon. Remember, they need 2 goals if they're to be able to rescue a point from this match day. Bruma has spun it wide. Matondo on for Caligiuri. Numbers committed forwards for Schalke here. Matondo's one of them. Good ball and a good piece of goalkeeping as well.
You would have to say that today's game was slightly more important for Boavista. Before today, having only picked up 1 point on the eFootball.Pro League so far, but now going into matchday 5. If the score remains the same, it would be 4 points apiece and everything to play for as the ball gets played across the face. Oh, surely it had to go in, Mark.
Serdar with the effort, and it's been a match day so far which has been notable for missed opportunities being extremely costly. Schalke may well see their hopes of taking something from this match day disappear as that ball disappeared past the post.
It did indeed, as did the water bottle along the pitch side as well. We thought it was going to be the net that was going to be smashed out of proportion, but it was indeed the liquid. I was going to try and think of another word for bottle to make it sound really good, but I can't think of one, to be honest. Have you got container? Yeah, that might have done. Vessel, that's a good one. The liquid vessel, but of course, that's not good enough for Schalke 04, and we are ticking towards full time here, and Boavista fully have this game in the bag. If they were to throw this away, you'd probably feel they were throwing away the eFootball.Pro League for this season, because surely even they couldn't recover from the despair of not taking all 3 points today.
Well, you mentioned it just a minute or so ago. You were struggling to think of another word for it, but bottle is what Boavista need to show here.
Oh, it's a good one.
If they're going to see this game out and ensure that they take maximum points from the match day. And of course, we've already seen one team celebrating, Celtic, with their victory earlier against Monaco, and with Schalke failing to win this match, they know they are assured of a place in the finals in May. Remember, we have one more match to come for you. Nantes against Barcelona will come straight off the back of this, and some reaction from Diego with the victors and the losers between Boavista and Schalke. I'm sure you can see him beavering away, writing some questions down at the moment. In fact, he's deep in conversation with E.C. O'Neill. So, latter stages then of this one. Game 2 between Boavista and Schalke. Boavista won the first game and are closing in on victory in the second game. It's their goal kick that goes upfield. Nastasic rises for it. Bruma's there as well. Schalke have got a score. Tosha can't get on the end of it though. Rafael Silva can run the ball clear. Rafael Lopez has it taken off him by Bruma, but this is the wrong end of the pitch as far as Schalke are concerned. Stambouli spins it wide towards Serdar. His header back to Bruma. This is really good stuff from Boavista. They're constricting Schalke and keeping them down towards their own goal. Sané tries to get into the opposition half, but he's tackled immediately by Falcone. Really good passage of play this for Boavista, just what the doctor ordered in terms of protecting their advantage.
Absolutely, and you were talking about vessels earlier as well. Of course, Boavista FC based on the coast of Portugal, where a lot of vessels will be in the harbour, I would imagine.
Indeed. Taha. You can't see, but Adam is celebrating his anecdote there.
It was pretty impressive for me. 87 minutes on the clock. Boavista 2, Schalke 0-4-1. It's been a truly impressive performance from the guys who had so much pressure going into this game. Not only did they win the first game, but they are sailing towards a second victory here to make it 2 from 2. All 3 points, 4 points in the eFootball.Pro League so far in this season. And surely now...
This has been a brilliant defensive display in the last 15 minutes or so. They have been so intelligent on the ball. They've closed Schalke down. They've kept possession well. It's been a masterclass. And even if Schalke score now, it's not going to change anything. Rafael Lopez can run it clear. Boavista can celebrate a job very well done, because they are going to pick up the 3 points. They've won the first game. They have won the second game as well. 3 points for them. Boavista have done it. Celebrations for those two. Excellent performance. Some fabulous goals as well. Boavista 2, Schalke 1. Boavista win the points, having won both of the games.
Yeah, a big puff of the cheeks there. An exhale from Tiamut. Thoroughly impressive performance, but it was hard fought at times. Schalke did take them all the way in both games. Just the 1 goal in both of them, but worthy winners on the day. And looking at the table, Boavista FC now have 4 points. Schalke have 4 points. Monaco with 5. Of course, Celtic have qualified with 9. And FC Barcelona, if they were to win in the final game in matchday 4, they will also qualify as well. And that would put FC Nantes in a tricky position with just the 2 points at the foot of the table. But of course, if Nantes were to win, they would go to 5 points and join AS Monaco. So it's all heating up around this last game. We're just seeing some highlights here. And this was the first goal that set Boavista on their way. And they started how they meant to continue, didn't they, Mark?
Yeah, it was a nice, cool finish there. Boavista took their chances well. And that has been the difference, really, because Schalke left to rue a number of missed opportunities. This wasn't one of them, though. Very nice finish to pull them back level. But Boavista displayed real maturity, and, you know, it says something about a side if you can win a game with virtually the last kick of the game in 2 consecutive match days, then you can keep your cool when panic is setting in. And that celebration was cut short there. But, yeah, terrific performance from Boavista. I think that one of the things that we will look back on is the calmness that they have in control. And I think we can maybe get some reaction in just a minute, because Diego is down there beavering away. This is the full-time scoreline then. Boavista winning 2-0 overall by winning both of the games. And I think that the word that really springs to mind is maturity from their performance. Let's find out what the Schalke players think, though. Diego is with them.
Yep, thanks, Mark. I'm joined by Middleman and Mike. Guys, first of all, my condolences. Today, you guys didn't manage to pick up the win. I want to ask you, though, it's not the first time that we see you guys trailing and then having to come back. What is preventing you from having maybe more control over the game?
Yeah, we should score from our chances, I think. Then the game would run better for us. But, yeah, in the end, it's different week, same shit. Yeah.
All right, I understand. Mike, of course, very disappointed today. Something I have to ask you, because I spoke about it with the other players as well, is how much does the travel or maybe lack of sleep affect you guys on the day itself?
Yeah, when you woke up at 4 a.m. and sit the whole day all around and do nothing, it's yeah, hard to concentrate 12 hours later. Yeah, maybe a bit better preparation would be good.
Well, guys, it's not over yet, of course, but today I have to once again bid you guys my condolences and wish you, of course, the best of luck for that final match day, as if you guys make way for the guys from Boavista, Chris and Tiomit. Today it paid off, guys. Today it paid off. Tiomit again with the thriller, the last-minute winner. What a game it was. Congrats, of course, on picking up the win. And, I mean, I want to ask, first of all, how do you guys keep such a cool head to finish off late into the game? Again, the winner. How do you guys keep a cool head to basically, I mean, when everybody's screaming, shoot, shoot, it's the 93rd minute, you guys out for that tiki-taka, still passing the ball. How do you keep such a cool head and avoid pressing that shoot button from outside of the box?
No, it's always difficult, but you know the quality, the weakness, and the good points of our team. And you know, with Boavista, you have to be very, very, very patient. And we know how much is important the minute 45, the minute 90 in the football games. And I said to him, be patient at last minute. And fortunately, with a little bit also of luck, you need a little. But I think you did a great work mentally and tactically, and it's the first win and deserved.
Absolutely. Absolutely deserved. And you talk about being patient, Christopher, but do you think that maybe sometimes you can be a little bit, or do you feel you guys could be more taking the initiative, maybe a little bit more aggressive offensively as opposed to being more reactive to what the opponent is doing?
I think we did one mistake on the game. It's until the 1-0 on the second game, because you stay too much in defense, and we give them the opportunity to score, and I think they deserve to score the 1-0. And fortunately, we react very well with a free kick. I have hesitation to shoot or pass, but finally I take the good decision. And so, yeah, we are maybe sometimes too much patient, but we know also the characteristics of our team. You can't play too much speed with the players we have. So I think you did almost the perfect game with Boavista today.
You absolutely did. And now with the 3 points finally, because you guys have been playing so well throughout this tournament, the result went your way. So congratulations, 4 points now, in with a chance to qualify directly, of course. So I wish you guys the best of luck for that final match day. These boys from Monaco, so happy and much deserved win. Adam and Mark, back over to you.
Thanks very much, Diego. Of course, lovely to hear the words of wisdom from both sets of players. Apologies if you heard any ill-advised language, should I say. Obviously, a lot at stake here in the eFootball.Pro League, so you can understand the pressure they're under. But, I mean, it was a wonderful performance from Boavista, who have kind of... They've allowed leads to slip before, and they finally managed to get over the line today.
As I was saying earlier, maturity is the word that I would really associate with their performances. They kept calm after they conceded equalisers. You can't score late goals in 2 consecutive match days unless you've got a real calmness and a plan for how you can go about things. And, you know, those lads could well be in the running to be the MVP of the match day. And remember that you can vote for that on Twitter throughout the week to choose the season MVP.
Absolutely, you can, of course. And speaking of an MVP, we may get one in the next game, which, of course, involves Nantes FC. And we have a Q&A with them right now. Let's go and see what they have to say.
Alors bonjour à tous, nous allons répondre à vos questions.
Donc on va répondre à toutes vos questions, on va essayer de répondre le mieux possible. Donc alors première question par Montsehida. Donc quelle a été votre première console de jeu?
Donc ma première console c'était la Nintendo 64, à l'époque des Mario Bros, Dragon Ball Z, j'ai beaucoup joué avant. Ça a été pour moi une des meilleures consoles.
Moi c'était la PlayStation 1, donc la toute première PS1. Voilà. Quelle est votre édition préférée de PES? Quelle équipe aimiez-vous dans cette édition? Une question de Albert Pedret.
Donc pour moi, le meilleur PES a été PES 2015, avec le Bayern Munich et aussi Robben quand il marquait avec ses enroulés. Là. Pour moi, c'était le meilleur PES 2015.
Moi, le meilleur, ça reste PES 6. Je pense que pour tout le monde aussi, c'était le meilleur. J'ai bien kiffé avec Adriano, Ibra. Après, j'étais jeune, mais pour moi, c'était le meilleur PES.
C'était un PES trop facile.
Et quelle équipe on aimait dans cette édition? L'Inter, du coup. Adriano, Ibra, des tanks.
À la frappe d'Adriano, je te rappelle. Hein.
Grosse frappe, comme toi. C'est une frappe. Alors, question de RumSecu 6. Donc, comment est-ce que vous combinez le travail d'un joueur professionnel, qui signifie entraîner, voyage, tournoi, avec votre copine, amie et la famille? La semaine, c'est simple, on s'entraîne beaucoup. Après, quand il y a des compétitions, le week-end, ils sont pris, on fait que de jouer. Mais après, sur une année, ça ne représente pas énormément non plus. Donc on a beaucoup de week-ends pour sortir, voir les potes et s'amuser. Puis voilà.
Après là, c'est vrai que c'était un peu difficile avec la PES League, parce que c'était sur pratiquement 1 mois et demi. Donc tu ne pouvais pas sortir et tout, tous les week-ends. Donc là, en fait, on aura le temps de sortir, de faire ce qu'on veut et tout, donc ça va. Donc on s'est géré en fait.
Alors, question 4 de Thomas Balonga, Thomas P. Balonga. Quel a été votre meilleur moment depuis que vous jouez dans la eFootball.Pro League?
Le meilleur moment pour l'instant contre l'AS Monaco, je pense, parce qu'on a fait match nul, on a pris 1 point. Ouais. Franchement, ça a été un très gros match.
On a fait un bon match. Un
premier c'est à nous de voir après, parce qu'il reste encore 3 matchs à jouer. On va voir comment ça se passe.
Et aussi la présentation, parce qu'on a vu Gérard Piqué et Shakira. Donc, ça, c'était super.
Tu as quitté Shakira, toi?
C'est toi qui as eu une photo avec. T'es bien, toi.
Donc voilà, c'est bon, on a répondu à vos questions et à très bientôt.
Voilà, j'espère qu'on a répondu à toutes vos questions. À bientôt.
Yeah, of course, lovely to hear from the guys there from FC Nantes, and they have a massive game now against FC Barcelona. Of course, in the last game, Boavista snatched a chance of qualification with that win, and Nantes are pretty much in the same boat. Of course, they have 2 draws and a defeat to their name so far in the 3 match days, so a win is crucial to give themselves any chance, and we have the players ready to rock and roll on stage. We have Nantes up against Barcelona, who have the chance to qualify today with a win. Let's take it away, guys.
Welcome, guys. Check your hands. Good luck. Vale, Alex. Te cuento, ¿vale?
So as you can see there, we have both sets of players playing for FC Nantes. We have Alex Giardi and Ers Babisk, and of course for Barcelona we have Alex Alguacil and Pau. And Pau is of course MVP, as voted for a lot of you guys at home from the last match day. He is, or was, topping the goal scoring charts as well before today with 9 goals to his name, and I believe he's now 1 behind El Matador, who has 10, but he has 2 games to jump back. And Mark, wouldn't be surprised if he did that. He's been in terrific form, hasn't he?
Yeah, he put Barcelona 3-0 up in their 3-2 win against Celtic in game 1 of the last match day. Then got 2 in the 2-2 draw in the second game as well, but certainly he is in top form, and recently celebrated a birthday as well, turned 24 on the 24th of February. So maybe some belated celebrations for him today.
Thanks, Mark, the Statman Scott. Of course, we have now a huge game, as I said before, at both ends of the table. Barcelona looking to qualify today, get the job done, move on to the knockout stages. If they don't win, if they were to lose, they would leave it open for match day 5, and it would be the case as well, I believe, if it's a draw. So only a win will do, unless I am corrected, to join Celtic in the knockout stages. Of course, only a win will do as well, for different reasons, for FC Nantes if they're looking to qualify on match day 5. Of course, all teams can still qualify even if they finish in the bottom 3 of 6 after match day 5 in the bottom 3 playoff, because we'll need one of those teams to join the 3 who have already qualified.
Indeed, and just looking at the makeup of the 2 teams, you know, more experience in the Barcelona ranks. Alex Alguacil, current world champion in co-op and runner-up in 1v1. Pau, who is the top scorer with 9 goals coming into this match day, and in good form, PES world champion in 2012, whereas the Nantes pair, the 2 Frenchmen, very good players, but haven't quite got that same level of experience at the very highest level yet.
They are incredibly dangerous though, and a lot of the other players have already said that Nantes on this game are a real outfit. They have a great strike force, they are very dangerous, and as you said, Alex Giardi and Ers Babisk are growing into this tournament as the match days go on, and I wouldn't be surprised, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an upset today, because they certainly have the talent. But up against Barcelona, who were one of the favourites going into the tournament at the start of the eFootball.Pro League season, they've got a formidable outfit in front of them. So all to play for, like I said, at both ends of the table. And I just hope it lives up to what we've seen so far, because it's been incredible.
Absolutely, and just looking at it, the Barcelona team were 1-0 winners in their game against Celtic, and drew 2-2 in one of the later games as well. So they came through that with a 1-0 victory over Celtic overall. And as I mentioned, Pau stormed them into a 3-0 lead in the first of their games in the last match day. They were 3-0 up late on before conceding a couple, and he also got the opening goal of their next game against Celtic, which ended in a 2-2 draw, and also rescued the draw for them very late on as well. So he's stepped up to the plate, and he'll be the player to watch in this particular showdown.
Absolutely, and what's very interesting is going into this eFootball.Pro season for Barcelona, a lot of eyes were raised, or eyebrows were raised, should I say, potentially at the lack of experience recently from Pau. Of course, Alex Alguacil had, you know, an incredible 2018 in the game, winning the co-op, first ever co-op world champion spot. And of course, recent years he's done really, really well. But Pau has kind of been the main man, and Alex has had to play second fiddle in terms of the headlines, playing more of the Iniesta to the Messi role, you could say, from back in the day. The glory is, of course, for FC Barcelona, the Xavi or Iniesta, as I said. Alex is now sort of fulfilling that role, the assist master, and Pau is taking all the goal-scoring headlines for sure. And as I said, long may it continue for him. But what is good is they have built this wonderful chemistry. I believe they do live together now in the wonderful city of Barcelona. So they have a lot of chances to practice as a team, and the chemistry is growing day by day. Up against them now, Nantes, not quite the same chemistry, of course, but certainly they have the ability, power, and precision in front of goal to be ruthless as well. So we are just seconds away. How do you see this one, Mark?
Well, I think that it is a game that could well be down to an electric start, given the way that Barcelona began their first game against Celtic. They were probably looking to come flying out of the blocks. Might see the same again from them today. Remember, if Barcelona win, they're into the finals. Even if Nantes were to lose, they could still qualify for the finals on match day 5. So plenty at stake in this final match of match day 4 here at eFootball.Pro.
You mentioned an early goal potentially. We haven't seen one today, which has been rare. Usually there's at least one game which has a goal within the first sort of 5 to 10 minutes or so. It's been, yeah, they've kept us waiting so far today. Maybe the time is now. Nevertheless, we have had some incredible performances all around in the eFootball.Pro League, and I'm guessing today in this matchup between Nantes and Barcelona, we're going to see the same sort of talent as well. Mark, seconds from kickoff, Nantes versus Barcelona, yellow versus the famous burgundy and red. Remember, Barcelona will qualify with all 3 points here.
So it will be Nantes to get us underway, and well, Colo with a no-nonsense clearance, which concedes a throw, and immediately a little bit of alteration is being made.
Remember, just to remind you at home, if we do get any form of stoppages which we sort of perceive as breaking the sort of game flow in the second half, we will include our new momentum rule, which means that the score of the first half will be taken into account. The second half, up to that break in play, will be null and void, and we will go to a second 45 minutes, which will be added to the score of the first 45 minutes, and that will be taken as the 90 minutes, just to keep it fair all round. How do you like that one, Mark?
Yep, I think that's absolutely spot on. We were speaking about early goals, actually, and in the last round of fixtures, Nantes did score one early goal in their second game against Schalke. Barcelona hit the net early on when they played Celtic as well, so potential for some early action for sure.
Absolutely, and remember, guys, at home we have our analysis programme straight away. Well, it will be coming to you probably midweek next week, and we will be choosing, our wonderful pundit Wes will be choosing a MVP from each game, and then you guys at home on Twitter can select your MVP from matchday 4 from those three. As Luis Suarez tries to go through the middle, it drops to Rafinha, back to Luis Suarez, the Uruguayan can shoot, plays it to Lionel Messi, chance gone.
So Nantes have it with Isaric, and he's lost out. Yulan wants it, Colo through the centre as well. It's broken for him. Colo nearly gave it back to him, and Ter Stegen out to make the gather.
8 minutes gone here. Nantes 0, Barcelona 0, as Vidal finds Boateng now forward towards Luis Suarez. First time pass to Rafinha, got support from Messi on the right, and also Suarez through the middle, and just plucked away from him at the death there. And it's been a bright start from Barcelona, was something we kind of would expect, Mark.
Indeed, Diego Carlos coming forwards for Nantes. Bit of a cagey start to the game, really. Piqué and Yulan, and there's a chance and a goal. What a start for Nantes. Well, we spoke about whether there may be an early goal. Expected Barcelona to come flying out of the traps, and they are behind because Nantes have scored a cracker.
Well, we said before the game that Barcelona were the favourites, but we also said that Nantes have tremendous firepower and are capable of causing hurt all around the pitch, and it's exactly what they've done within 5 minutes here. And it's a wonderful start for the team from France, and just like Boavista before them, they've given themselves a big chance here to build on this and have a chance of qualifying for the top 3 in Matchday 5.
Well, you wonder if Barcelona will look at themselves and feel that they should have cleared the ball from just outside their own penalty area. Risky play that they're punished for, but take nothing away from the finish, because they went for a very cute pass there rather than maybe the more obvious ball, and they were rewarded by scoring the opening goal of game 1.
50 minutes gone here, and it is 1 goal to the good as far as Nantes are concerned, and Lionel Messi just pickpocketed there. It's been a really bright start here from the French team as the ball gets played through towards Kolo, but cleared away by Gerard Piqué.
Here's Messi now on the turn, turns into trouble though, so it will be a Barcelona throw and nothing more than that. Vidal is over it. Chumi has it. Messi. Still Messi. Good defending though from Boavista. Vidal has found a bit of space, and here's Suarez, 1-1.
It didn't take them long. We said it was a brilliant start from Nantes, and we were surprised at how poor Barcelona were in the final third in the opening 10 minutes or so, and they've responded in emphatic fashion, and that is exactly what Luis Suarez is capable of. Give him a sniff and he will bury. Nantes 1, Barcelona 1.
Well, nicely worked, crisp exchange of passes. 2 very well-worked goals that we've seen so far. But while Nantes made the most of some sloppy possession outside the Barcelona penalty area, this was all of Barca's own making.
Of course, remember, Barcelona with a win, the win would be their vessel into the knockout stages of the eFootball.Pro League.
Not going to be plain sailing, though, given
stop it.
Talent at the disposal of these Nantes players. Boateng comes across to make the challenge, and Umtiti is in the right place, up towards Messi. Misplaced pass from him, Touré for Nantes. Midway through the first half then, Diego Carlos, 1-1 in game 1 between Barcelona and Nantes. Rafinha has it for Barcelona and makes some inroads before offloading to Messi, into Suarez. Rafinha and Messi. Barcelona starting to click now. Rafinha in towards Suarez. Here is Rafinha again, and Suarez, dangerous, nice turn, good hit, good save.
What a one-handed save there from the Nantes number 1, and Barcelona just clicking into gear now. Wonderful interchange on the edge of the area, something they are famed for, the tiki-taka, and then the Cruyff turn from Luis Suarez, and just sort of slapped wide of the target there from the goalkeeper. No real technique, it was more effective than beautiful, you could say.
Messi with this corner then, not fully dealt with, and Koulibaly trying to make something of it, unable to do so, but Kolo on the chase here. Rafinha and Chumi across. Here is Messi for Barcelona, nearly halfway, nearly at the half-hour point of the first half. As
it's
Messi,
flown by, hasn't it?
Indeed, comes forwards into Suarez. Rafinha back for Suarez to chase. Good pass, but Boateng wasn't quick enough to react there, which allowed the Nantes players to get back and clear. Piqué all the way back to Ter Stegen, who comes out and plays it short. Piqué again. Here's Longley. Longley into Umtiti. Patient stuff from Barcelona. Vidal picks it up. And Nantes just sitting off here, trying to make sure they've got enough numbers back when the likes of Messi get up onto the ball. And Messi into Rafinha. Tucked away by Diego Carlos. Evangelista, that's a loose pass. Rafinha has it for Barcelona. Seric is there, and his pass cut out as well. Nantes just losing their way in terms of their distribution at the moment. Rafinha trying to poke it through towards Messi. Evangelista has it now. Need a period of keeping the ball to the men in yellow, and Kolo has his foot on the ball at the moment. Rafinha across to him, but that's a aimless pass and goes behind for a goal kick.
Remember, a win for Barcelona will see them into the knockout stages, the top 3 of the table. A draw would not be enough today, but they could still qualify on match day 5, whereas Nantes have to win today, as far as I'm aware, to have the chance of going through to the knockout stages in that top 3. Of course, all 6 teams can still qualify through the back door, should you say. The bottom 3 will have a playoff as the ball gets played across the face and fired goalwards, and a sprawling block there from Gerard Piqué. It really was a brilliant block there from the Spanish international as it's fired away as well for a throw on the near touchline. 1 minute remaining in the first half. Not a time to concede a goal if you're Barcelona. But Rafinha, I think, was back there making the clearance, and now it's Lionel Messi, and now they could go on the counter-attack and possibly get a goal just before half-time. But no, it's broken down again, and Mark, even at half-time, a fairly decent result for both teams, and one that's deserved, really, I think.
Yeah, it's taken a bit of time to break into real rhythm, but I think over the course of that first half, Barcelona had better passages of play. Messi has it early on for them in the second half. Nice swivel from him, away from a couple of challenges, and cut out by Touré. Vidal, shooting chance, which he can't take.
They gave him so much room on the edge of the area. The crowd was screaming for him to pull the trigger. That he did, but it has whistled the wrong side of the post, and someone of Vidal's ability, you would expect that to at least get on target, wouldn't you?
I think given the experience and the goal-scoring form of the 2 Barcelona players, they will be disappointed that they didn't at least get that effort on target. Long lay to Umtiti now. Certainly it's Barcelona looking the most likely, recovering well after the concession of that early goal. Chumi can switch to Vidal. Boateng's in space. It's gone to Suarez instead. Here is Boateng now. Rafinha nicely worked. Suarez was lurking. Rafinha's there. Vidal. Boateng again. Boateng waits for support. Gets it from Vidal. Rafinha was further forwards. That's better from the Nantes back line. Although Vidal's managed to spin through. Rafinha to Suarez. And Rafinha! Lovely goal. Brilliantly worked and fully deserved.
Yeah, you felt it was coming. You were beginning to worry for Nantes because Barcelona were having more and more possession, more and more pressure, and you felt that it was a case of when, not if, and that has finally happened, and it was a great finish in the end off the foot of the far post. But what a team goal. Again, something we are not used to seeing from Barcelona themselves.
Well, it was excellently worked, and having scored 3 goals in one game, 2 in another, on the last match day, Barcelona have hit 2 early in the second half of this encounter. And as Adam was saying earlier, if they do manage to win this match against Nantes, they will secure their place in the finals alongside Celtic, who are already assured of their spot there in May as well.
It was Rafinha who got on the end of the pass from Luis Suarez, and you just feel that Nantes gave them far too much room in and around the edge of the area. The quick one-touch football meant that Nantes were dropping deeper and deeper and allowing far too much space, really, in the end, and they have been made to pay. Now they will make a few changes. Well, both teams will. I'm guessing that Barcelona will just, you know, a case of continue as you are doing, because they've bossed large parts of this game so far, haven't they, Mark?
Yeah, it's been an impressive turnaround from them. Again, I mentioned the word maturity when we were talking about the Boavista performance, and there's a calmness about Barcelona. Despite falling behind, they stuck to their game plan and knew that once the passes started to flow, they would find some gaps, and gaps have certainly been found. And now it's all on Nantes to try and pull this one out of the fire. Todibo for Dembele, who's recently come on. A raft of changes have been made by Barcelona. Luis Suarez on towards Dembele. Here is Suarez again, really starting to flow now, although Suarez didn't put enough on that pass. Dembele tries to win it back, doesn't manage to do so. And a rare foray forwards in this second half for Nantes. Koulibaly almost turned away from Chumi. It's up towards Messi. Nice control. On for Dembele. Here's Suarez. Back to Dembele again. 60 minutes played in game 1. Dembele towards Suarez, who didn't quite get the touch, but it was still a worrying moment for Nantes.
Absolutely, and that second goal for Barcelona has meant that both players have jumped to their respective tops of their table. So assist maker Alex Alguacil has 11, which is 3 higher than 8 in second, and Pau now is 11 goals scored in the tournament so far, one ahead of El Matador with 10. So both of them at the top of the table, and they're sailing through to the top of the table as well, potentially with a big win across the 2 games today.
Messi into Suarez. Here's Dembele. Semedo's in space. He's got it alone. Maybe should have passed. Decent save from the keeper, but he had a player in a very good position.
You just feel that Nantes have to get a foothold on the game somehow. The next 10 minutes, they need to try and get a bit of possession back and just nullify the threat of Barcelona, because if things continue, this game is going to very quickly get away from them. And once you go 3 down, it's then, you know, you're starting to think about, well, this could be 4 and 5, the way these guys are playing for Barcelona.
Well, Nantes are making some changes tactically, moving some of the players around, altering some of the positions.
What would you do now, Mark, if you were on that team?
I think they need to just try and get a bit further up the pitch, because Barcelona at the moment are playing the game almost exclusively in the Nantes half. That corner is flicked on by Piqué. Maris is able to run it clear. Early hit up towards Koulibaly. Long lays across. He's on his own for now, Koulibaly. Going to take something special from here, and he's unable to produce it.
That was pretty much backing up what you said. He was incredibly isolated there. The rest of his team are far too deep. The trouble is, if you push up against this Barcelona team and they've got the likes of Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, they can really hurt you on the counter-attack.
It's going to be a throw for Barcelona, and they're in control at the moment. They'll just want to keep the same momentum and the same pattern of play going that we've seen pretty much straight after they got back on level terms. Taking their time over the throw. Suarez to Malcolm. That looks like it's going to be a corner, and again that will just eat down the clock a little bit more for Barcelona.
Sorry, I was just going to say 72 minutes on the clock and still 2-1 to Barcelona.
Messi's corner is eventually cleared. Todibo dispossessed. Now this is a chance. How many numbers have they got forwards? Kolo looked like he was fouled. Play goes on. Waris is on the move here and is still going. Angles against him. Can he get the cross in? Waris, he's got a corner. Could have been more though.
It really could have been, and potentially should have been. It was a big missed opportunity. He had a lot of space in front of him, but again, a real lack of support. He had to do everything himself, and again, he was crowded out eventually for a corner. And if they can't make anything of this, which they haven't, it goes down as a big missed opportunity, and the counter's on here. If he can find Dembele on that left-hand side, he's also got Luis Suarez through the middle, and that is a cynical foul down here on the near touchline. One that needed to be done, but deserved booking there for the Nantes left winger.
Well, we've seen quite a few fouls let go by the referees today. That one, quite rightly, wasn't. They were given a bit of a scare in their first game of the last matchday, Barcelona, when they were 3-0 up against Celtic. But some late goals made it 3-2. They should really be more comfortable than they are at the moment as well in this particular game, given the chances they've had. Here is Malcolm to Luis Suarez. Dembele in space. They need to work this well. Dembele, they nearly did, because they're outnumbered there by a number of Nantes players. And that's given straight to Nelson Semedo. 10 minutes of this game left to play. Koulibaly wants it through the centre. It goes out to Grotto instead. Now forwards for Koulibaly. Piqué across, and Piqué clearing.
Obviously, we will clarify qualification places as soon as we know it, but you kind of feel if Nantes were to lose this first game, it might just be that in terms of automatic qualification potentially from matchday 5. They would be on a maximum of 3 points if they were to win in the second game, and that's a big if against this very strong Barcelona team. They know only 3 points will do to give themselves the best chance.
Well, they're playing themselves into a spot of bother there, Barcelona, in and around their own area. They've managed to get it clear. Dembele further forwards, too much on it for Suarez. Should be easy enough for Umtiti to clear. Up towards Suarez, but Barcelona just looking a little bit jittery as they protect this narrow advantage. All the way back to Ter Stegen, needs to put his boot through it, but instead, coolly out from the back. Dembele can't get there. Maybe one last chance for Nantes in this first game. Touré flicks it on. Waris in the centre. Longley in the right place, and Malcolm will just be clever here and keep possession for as long as possible. Away from one challenge, and then the long ball towards Dembele, which will eat up a bit more time. is there any time left here for Nantes? The 2 additional minutes that were signalled are up, and Barcelona have won the first game by 2 goals to 1.
Yep, Nantes took the lead early in the game, 14 minutes on the clock. 2 quick-fire goals from Barcelona turned the game on its head, and that now means the instant qualification after match day 5, as far as I'm aware, might be a tall order for the French team. Barcelona, on the other hand, can qualify through to the knockout stages with a draw or a win in this second of the 2 games. So as things stand, a job well done so far for Barcelona.
Yeah, but just to confirm what Adam was saying, if Barcelona draw or win this second game, they are through to the finals, because it would give them a victory in this match, and the 3 points from that would take them into the finals. Even if Nantes lose, they could still qualify for the finals on match day 5, because Monaco didn't avoid defeat, so it is still possible for them on match day 5, but it would be a tall order, as Adam was saying, if they came out of this empty-handed.
All to play for here in this second game then, and well, long may it continue on what we've seen so far in match day 4. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable watch. All of these players putting in a real top-class shift here, and like we said before, I'm sure Wes, our PES expert, will have some words of wisdom to explain how these teams have been successful or not so in match day 4. Mark, let's go. Match day 4, if anything. Game 2.
Here is Todibo for Barcelona. Give it away. Rafinha's across there quickly to snap into the challenge. Kolo picks it up for Nantes. Nantes, who lost the first game 2-1 after taking an early lead. Kolo, they might have an early chance here as well. They do. Opportunity is deflected and behind for a corner. Well, that could have been another early lead for Nantes.
Absolutely. As the ball get played down the left-hand side, fired across the face, a lovely back heel, and great defending in the end from the Barcelona centre-back. And again, the French team have started on the front foot.
In comes the corner, and away it goes from Vidal. Help further clear towards Suarez. This is where they can be dangerous. Rafinha picks up possession for Barca. Suarez and Messi in support. Messi back here for Suarez. Worked onto Rafinha. Nice pass to Boateng. Suarez is in space. It's still Luis Suarez. And still,
I mean,
just took too long, and he does get the free kick in the end, which Messi is over, understandably. Is he going to have a dip at goal from here?
Had a few nibbles there, the Nantes defender.
Todibo has actually been given the responsibility to strike a goal instead. Maybe that means it's going to go short to Messi. We have seen a few free kicks work that way. Messi waiting on the edge of the area, and it goes short to Suarez. Now Vidal, good routine. Boateng unable to get the header on the end of it, though.
Yeah, you feel that something they've worked on in training. It didn't quite come off on this occasion. We have seen a few goals from set pieces today, as we've already mentioned, and one world-class free kick as well. Not on this occasion, as Rafinha tries to find Luis Suarez, but an interception, and now Mendy brings it forward on this right-hand side. A bit of early possession here for the French side to kind of stifle what has been another bright start from Barcelona.
Diego Carlos in field. Iseric was waiting, but so was Todibo. Here is Rafinha releasing Messi. Nicely done by him. Suarez unable to find his teammate. Here is Kolo now for Nantes. Straight down to Todibo. Now there's room for Messi. Rafinha on the wing, but he's just presented it to Diego Carlos. And Iseric has made the run through the centre. Here he is now. Piqué is across, and his teammate able to clear. A little bit scrappy at the moment. Both teams just being a bit loose in possession. Touré now for Nantes. 20-minute mark approaching. Forwards to Yuan. Flicked on nicely. And here's Kolo. Well, so far Nantes have had that one clear-cut chance, and that's all we've had so far. They've got a free kick here, though. Is it going to be another short one, as has been very much on vogue during this current match day?
Speaking of short, Lionel Messi looks rather short on the right-hand side of the wall, and he's gone for that area, and it almost paid off as he looked for that top right-hand corner, but The little man just managed to spring up to block the shot. Corner kick, 21 minutes gone, still deadlocked here at 0-0.
Well, you saw there 61% pass completion from Barcelona, which is exceptionally low, and really backs up what we were saying about that scrappy passage of play not that long ago. Boateng's header is fairly scrappy as well. Chimi's challenge was risky, Kolo was waiting, and away it goes.
A few eyebrows raised again there. A few supporters wanted a penalty there as the leg was dangled, but the referee was unmoved and waved away said appeals as Boateng tries to find Rafinha. Now 25 minutes gone here, still 0-0, and Nantes win possession back. They badly need a goal. Of course, a draw here won't be enough for them to get anything from today after losing the first game. On the other hand, a draw here would be enough for all 3 points for Barcelona, having won that first game. But it is Nantes on the attack here. A chance here. Oh, he's taken far too long, has he? No, he hasn't. He's fired it into the bottom right-hand corner, and it's game on here. Nantes taking a 1-0 lead, and plays into the fact what we were saying about Barcelona. They've been a bit complacent, haven't they, Mark?
Well, it was really good composed play there, because the opportunity looked as though it may have gone after delaying the initial shot, but they had the composure to wait until the chance presented itself properly. There was
I
when
thought
it
he took
looked
a touch too many, if I'm being honest, but what do I know as he fires it into the bottom corner.
Nantes in front again, but they were ahead in game one and ended up empty-handed. Can they protect a lead on this occasion? The two Frenchmen celebrate and now have to concentrate. Barcelona get us back underway. Half an hour of this first half of the second game has been played. Nantes leading Barcelona by a 1-0 after Barcelona won the first game by 2-1. Remember, Barcelona can go through with a win. Suarez trying to re-establish their advantage in this game. Messi, Suarez, Rafinha, would be some goal this. And Boateng wraps it up. What a wonderful move that was.
Literally throughout 30 seconds of play there, all my response was because it was that good. From the right-hand side, the one-touch football between Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez and co was a joy to watch. And Nantes, again for the second time today, find themselves pegged back. But how can you defend against that sort of football?
Well, the thing is that they conceded the equaliser pretty soon after opening the scoring in game one, and it's happened again here. They say that you're never more vulnerable than just after you've scored a goal, and unfortunately that's been the case in both games for Nantes. But just as with the first game, not much they could do about it when those two produced that kind of football.
Could the keeper have done a little bit more about it, potentially?
Potentially, but I think you just have to give credit to Barcelona for the way they constructed that goal.
Yep, a thoroughly well-worked goal from the Spaniards, and once again, it's a case of déjà vu here for Nantes as they take the lead and are pegged back. What they don't want to do now is to go on and concede a second in quick succession, because that would pretty much be curtains, and that might happen here through Luis Suarez. If he can get the wrong side, he can. It's Lionel Messi with a left-foot shot straight at the goalkeeper. Worrying signs here for Nantes, because they know they have to win to get a point from today.
It's almost as though that goal has angered Barcelona and stirred them into life, as it did in the first game. They fell behind and then they really hit their straps, and that seems to be occurring once again now as well.
And in both games, it doesn't seem like it's changed. They've changed anything sort of tactically. They've just kind of played better, haven't they?
So half-time approaching. And if it stays like this, if it stays a draw in game two, Barcelona would win their match against Nantes, because they won the first game, and that would seal their place in the finals in May in Barcelona. And Titi decides on going all the way back to his keeper, ter Stegen, who launches long. Suarez rises but doesn't win the header, and Yuan beats Boateng to it, just about kept it in place. Suarez has kept it in and has picked out Boateng nicely, looking for Messi, not quite finding him.
And just to back up what I was saying about sort of just not really changing anything and just playing a bit better, it's like they're playing in sort of second gear for most of this game, and then when they need to turn it on to grab a goal, they just do it, and it's working really, really well for them as Lionel Messi finds Rafinha. Now Luis Suarez, it's a Bit of a wayward pass, but Barcelona still have possession, and it's looking like we may go in at 1-1 at half-time, especially if this gets cleared, which it does. And the referee brings the first half to an end, and it's another one where Nantes have let their lead slip.
Yeah, they were ahead in game 1, and they were ahead in game 2, and neither time were they able to protect their advantage for more than a minute or so. Barcelona closing in on the match victory that would send them through to the finals.
So all eyes on the referee as he brings the second half to a start, and it's one that we imagine will see large periods of Barcelona possession again, and almost an instant goal there for Luis Suarez, but cleared away right at the last moment. And worrying signs again for the team from France, but they're on the counter-attack here. AS Babisque and Alex Giardi seriously need a second-half performance to savour. Otherwise, it will be 2 points from a possible 12 here after match day 4.
Well, as things stand, it would go down to match day 5 for Nantes in terms of whether they can qualify for the finals. Barcelona would secure their spot with one more match day remaining. Kolo on the move here, quickly closed down by a cluster of red and blue shirts, and the shot comes in, but always one that looked like it was drifting wide.
Yeah, it felt a bit rushed, that. When things aren't going quite well, you're kind of forcing the issue a little bit, and that was the case there, you feel, as it was a long way from testing ter Stegen in the Barcelona goal.
Or maybe just the experience of the current world champion in co-op and runner-up in 1v1, Alex Alguacil, and the 2012 PES world champion Pau, who was the 9-goal top scorer before we went into this round of fixtures. Bit of game management from them here. A draw in this game, good enough for them to win the match, of course. And Titi, though, with a loose pass there. Longlay's challenge. The assistant was flagging. Koulibaly's going on, though. Koulibaly could get it back here. He's in the centre. And Barcelona scramble it away for a corner.
Yeah, another chance there for Nantes. As you said, the referee played a good advantage and they almost capitalised. It's whipped in towards the near post, headed goalwards. Another easy claim, though, for ter Stegen, and they just kind of haven't built in both games on that early lead.
Yeah, that will be the disappointing thing for them, to get their noses in front and be unable to protect that lead for any notable amount of time. Longley finding Malcolm. Messi's through the middle. Suarez back to Messi. Suarez again. Beautiful stuff from Barcelona once more. Malcolm, Suarez. This would be another terrific goal. Malcolm will keep it in and get the cross in. And eventually Nantes will clear. Well, there's been some sparkling stuff from the men in red and blue today. Chumi underneath that one. Nelson Semedo. Here's Messi. Bit of a wave of pressure now from Barcelona. Messi aiming for Suarez. Almost found him. Nantes under the cosh now. Here is Kolo, though, relieving some of that pressure for them. Iseric through the middle. And Titi can block that out and stop Yulan getting on the end of it. We go through the midway point of the second half. Suarez chasing down. Longoa upfield. Chumi waits for it. Koulibaly's there, but Piqué anticipated and ferries it back to ter Stegen. Messi to Malcolm. Suarez. Malcolm again. Suarez wants it back. And Suarez is offside. Well, Nantes deciding to just change their shape slightly, which is understandable, given that Barcelona are building up a bit of a head of steam now. When they do click into gear, they have looked very, very dangerous, Barcelona. That quick one-touch pass and move, which has left Nantes chasing shadows on occasions. Here come the changes in personnel following the changes in tactics from the French side. Actually had more of the ball, Nantes, but Barcelona have certainly had the better of the chances. Koulibaly taken off him by Nelson Semedo, but illegally, so a free kick in a decent position here for Nantes. And I just wonder Is he going to go for the short one, or is he going to go for goal? The short one hasn't really worked out so far. Rongier is there, but it looks like he's going to crank up for the long one at goal. In fact, he does go short. Colo,
it's really
not
wasted,
come off.
really sloppy.
Again, it's another waste, and Barcelona have it back with Luis Suarez. Tries to play it into Malcolm, but it was a pass that went well astray, as does that one from Nantes, though. Chumi has it for Barcelona, finding Dembele. Suarez further forwards. Nelson Semedo gives him the option. Here he is now. And Nelson Semedo's pass is overhit. Juarez is in there. So's Messi, though, to win it back. Again, it's another patchy period of play. Nelson Semedo has it. Finding Dembele. Messi wanted it early. Dembele gets it back. Nantes have so many men back, but Semedo's found a way and has almost found a way through to Luis Suarez as well. Well, that would have been curtains if that had gone in for Nantes in terms of getting anything out of this match.
Yeah, they've just shaded possession in the last 5 to 10 minutes or so, but they're still conceding chances all over the field as Dembele has the chance to find Luis Suarez. It drops to Malcolm. It finally drops to Luis Suarez on the turn. Finds Malcolm. Game over. Surely. Wonderful, wonderful football from Barcelona.
Well, that will do it, you would have thought. Barcelona won the first game. They're ahead in the second game, so even if Nantes were to score once, it wouldn't affect the outcome of the match, and Barcelona can virtually taste their place in the finals now, because unless Nantes score twice in the closing stages, Barcelona are guaranteed a spot at the finals in May.
Just too good, Mark, on the day?
They have played some lovely stuff, but again, I think that Nantes will be disappointed not to have cleared their lines. Had a couple of occasions there where they could have done a bit better defensively. They've played some sparkling stuff, Barcelona, but that was somewhat scrappy by their standards, given some of the pass and move that we've seen, and frustration on the faces of the Frenchmen there at the nature of the concession of that goal. And you feel now that it is all over, bar the shouting, in this particular match.
All eyes for us in the studio on who scored that goal, because if it was Pau, he would be too clear in the Golden Boot hunt, and of course it would put Alex 4 clear in the assist top of the table. But if it's the other way round, they would both still be top of their respective tables, but it would be less so, as Mendy plays it infield. And 10 minutes to get 2 goals here for Nantes, and they're going the right way about it. But again, the final ball is lacking as it breaks to them on the edge of the area, but they can't really make any inroads again.
Well, history set to repeat itself. Nantes taking the lead, but losing by 2-1. That's what happened in the first game, and that is what's set to occur in this instalment as well. Chumi for Barcelona. Todibo wanted it. Goes crossfield instead to Umtiti, Dembele and Longley, and now it's just keep ball for Barcelona, who are within touching distance of celebrating a spot in the finals. Nelson Semedo running into traffic, Dembele running after it. Nantes need a minor miracle now. They're not going to get it because they've given the ball away. Dembele can bring it forwards. Barcelona showing composure, and now for the finishing touch. Malcolm's there, and that'll do it. And they are now definitely into the finals in May. Barcelona are going to win this game. They're going to win the match, and they are definitely going to be there in 2 months' time.
Absolutely. Nantes distraught, Barcelona jubilant, and it's just becoming food and drink for these two, isn't it? They're just brushing off anyone who comes within an inch of them as they go back to joint top of the table with 9 points from a possible 12. A thoroughly impressive 2-game performance from them again, and it's just the composure in front of goal which has been lacking from some of the other teams.
Indeed. When they've had their chances, they've generally taken them, and this one finishes off Nantes for sure. 3-1 to Barcelona in the game, and it's going to be 2 wins from the 2 games against Nantes, which will give them victory in the match and secure their spot at the finals.
Pau now leads Golden Boot by 2, at least. We're just waiting for the update on that one. Lionel Messi finds Dembele. 88 minutes gone here. Game already over here, and the home fans leaving in their droves.
Suarez for Dembele. Messi wants it and gets it. We're into stoppage time now. Messi's chopped down. So a free kick for Barcelona and maybe a chance to add a bit more gloss to the scoreline. They scored 3 and 2 in their 2 games last match day. They've scored 3 and 2 in their 2 games today. Can they top that tally with what might be the last attack of the game? It's in towards Dembele, who makes a nuisance of himself. Cleared away as far as Semedo. Nudged forwards. Dembele gets the touch. Here's Suarez. And he's looking for Dembele again. Back to the keeper. And that will probably be that. Barcelona victorious in this game. Barcelona victorious in the match. They've beaten Nantes and they are through to the finals in May.
A brace of goals for Malcolm, a brace of wins for Barcelona. As you said, Mark, they are sailing into the knockout stages here in the eFootball.Pro League. It's back to square one for Nantes. They will have to qualify either on matchday 5 or in the last chance saloon, but it's a day to savour really for the Spanish team, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely so. And the stats showing us that Barcelona, despite falling behind, had the composure to come back into it and use the talent at their disposal to good effect. In the end, it came down to finishing ability, not just for Barcelona, but throughout the course of the match day. It's been a question of the players who have had the coolness to convert the chances as opposed to those who have fluffed their lines. And in eFootball.Pro League, you have to be clinical.
Absolutely, and from what you've seen today, Mark, we have, of course, we'll talk obviously in more depth in the analysis programme, but the 2 teams that have qualified in Barcelona and Celtic, which do you see as the front runners of the 2?
Well, I think that we saw from Barcelona their teamwork, you know, the one-touch passing. That's something that's been fostered over an amount of time, and an almost telepathic relationship, which you can't really, you know, teach. That's just something that comes about through spending time together. However, when you look at Celtic, the fact that they've started to click so quickly after only being thrown together in the last match day shows that they have got plenty of composure as well. Tactically, they seem to be very much on the money as well. Here's a look back at what we've seen in the game so far, and as you can see on both occasions...
3 more goals from Pau, 2 from Alex, and of course, as you said, the word of today really for you has been maturity, and we saw from Barcelona in the first match day they were a little bit jittery when they went behind, but of course today they were so good when they went behind. They just kept possession, kept control, and they just looked the real outfit. I believe we are very close to going to the mix zone where we will have our wonderful Diego Lorena, data analyst and of course reporter, with starting firstly with the French team FC Nantes. Let's hear what those guys have to say.
That's it, Adam. I'm joined by Eyas, Bibisk and Alex. Guys, again, my condolences. Unfortunately, no points on the day. You guys did manage to go up, though, in both matches, scoring first. But what prevents you guys from basically dominating, and what allows you to lose control over those matches?
Yes, what I want to say watching this game is script. Defenders don't want to move. We move the controller, defenders don't want. So complicated. After we don't play a good match also, but script is very hard to win against this, against great players. So it's not finished. We have in May the last chance, and we need to win this game. We win all our games in training, but here it's different. And today was not our day, but we'll back better, I think.
You said it yourself, it is not over yet. You still have that final match day 5, of course, in order to qualify directly for that last phase. You do depend on Monaco. I'm just curious, though, what is your mindset going into that final match, knowing that it is very difficult to qualify directly?
Yes, I think it's impossible to qualify now.
So you depend on Monaco, technically. If Monaco loses and you win, then you could actually, technically still, depending on the goal average, you could still qualify directly.
Yes, always hope, but we will win against Boavista. And after, all is in May. The most important is to win in May. And I think we will be here for May and ready to win eFootball.Pro.
All right. Alex and AS Babisk still hopeful and confident that they can get something out of this tournament. Guys, the best of luck for the remainder of the competition, as I now am joined by the Barça boys. Pau, enhorabuena, Alex, as well. Enhorabuena, chicos. I need to ask this right from the start. Not only is Barça, the official team, Barça team, last week, the comeback kings of Europe, statistically having taken more points from a losing position than any other team in Europe. You guys are doing the same thing, having to come back twice against this Nantes side in order to pick up the win.
Yeah, it's funny because we changed a lot of things since the first match day. We looked like an Italian team, Catenaccio team in the first game. Now we look like a real Barça team. I'm very happy because we keep improving our style each round. I'm not sure what is our maximum point to reach on level. Well, very happy with Pau. He keeps improving. Not a lot of people believe in him since the beginning because it was a risky move for Barça to contract him. But very happy, he's scored an amazing goal with Malco, and he is a top scorer of the league as well. But very, very, very happy. We keep on the lead against Nantes. That's, in my opinion, was one of the, not the strongest, the second strongest team on the league in terms of in gameplay. So very, very happy.
Absolutely, so happy. And you mentioned it yourself. You mentioned how good you and Pau are playing. It's certainly very visible. I mean, it seems like you guys have been playing together for a very long time, despite the fact that you guys are quite new together. Very comfortable, very convincing win today. Who do you think, moving forward, is your biggest rival?
I'm not sure. It depends. I'm seeing Barça as a team in the game that is the worst team in terms of physically, because it's the main stat into the game. But we are showing that with tiki-taka, with our skill, with our moves, we could beat everybody. So let's keep trying. I think it's match day for us. It's a victory. We keep step by step, and let's see. Now looking forward to the last round, and then with Mons we will see the finals. But for the moment, looking only for the Monaco game, the last one.
Well, these guys staying humble, keeping their focus on the next day, despite the fact that they are already qualified. Both Pau and Alex of Barça, very happy, of course. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much. The best of luck, of course, moving forward. Adam and Mark, back over to you guys.
Thanks very much, Diego. Interesting to hear from Alex there, saying that Barcelona technically are probably the worst out of the 6 teams to play with, of course, because they are stat balanced, and it comes down to just physicality that has a bit of a difference. Not a lot, but a minor difference. But they are playing some incredible stuff. They have qualified. Congratulations, obviously, commiserations to Nantes, who weren't able to really make any inroads. But it's not over, because if we look at the table, Mark, we have 2 teams who have qualified in Celtic and Barcelona now. AS Monaco are in that 3rd position as we speak on 5 points, with Boavista, Schalke on 4 and Nantes on 2. So all 3 of those teams are reliant on AS Monaco.
Indeed, it's a similar situation to what we had today with Schalke, where a lot of people were keeping an eye out for their results. It's now flipped on to Monaco, as you can see from the table there, as you were mentioning. Yeah, it's Barcelona and Celtic are home and hosed, and then it's a real scrap amongst the 4 others.
And interestingly, who have AS Monaco got in the final matchday 5? They have, of course, Barcelona, who are playing some incredible stuff and could do the other teams a favour, but equally they could take their foot off the gas. They've already qualified. It could be really interesting to see how they actually sort of take part in matchday 5, but all to play for. And of course, that is just to qualify through to the final qualification stages, the knockout stages. Of course, all 3 teams who drop into that bottom 3, 4, 5 and 6 can still qualify, can't they, Mark, through the final chance playoff?
It's all up for grabs, so we know for sure that Barcelona and Celtic are definitely through to the finals. The 3rd team to definitely go through is still up for grabs. Obviously, at the moment, Monaco are in a very good position, but they have got Boavista and Schalke snapping at their heels, and Nantes not out of it yet either. So it promises to be a thrilling matchday 5 on the 13th of April.
Absolutely, a wonderful match day 4. Your pick of today in terms of, well, starting team and then player for you, sorry.
Well, I would think that generally I was impressed with both Boavista and Celtic. It's a tricky one. Celtic really adapted well after tactically, you know, altering things. Very impressed with the way they went about things. But I think Boavista's composure, the pressure was on them. They had to win. They did win.
Absolutely. And of course, it has brought us to pretty much the end of Matchday 4. Remember, we do have our analysis program coming at some point in the next few days, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for all of the latest and greatest information across all of our social media channels here at the eFootball.Pro. Mark, last words of wisdom from you before we sign off?
Finish your chances, because otherwise you pay the price.
Absolutely. And I throw a question and he answers it. The knowledge is incredible. It's been absolutely great to have you on board with us today for Matchday 4. It's been epic. It's been incredible. Remember, like I said, analysis program to come shortly in the next few days. We'll love you and leave you. We'll see you very, very soon for Matchday 5. Don't go anywhere.